Hello, my loves. Hello, dear Horties. Welcome to the show. It's time. Thank you very much to Decoy Duck, who I believe got a tier 1 sub right before we started the show. Thank you. And thank you, Andes, for a tier 1 sub. Says, I need the dicks in my life. True. Completely understandable. We all need a little dicks in our life. Um, Welcome in. We're here for a chill time and perhaps for a long time. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. What's up, Mersh? Hello. As usual, feel free to hit the like button as you come in. Dicks this and pussy that, but no bugs. Did you not? Are there no bugs over there? Bugs? Yeah, they're, sometimes I go in and I pour a bunch of water in there to get them all active and moving around. They probably need some protein, but it doesn't help that the clover is just taking over in there. It was not on purpose. There was just like a seed of clover in the soil mix that I put in there, and it's ground cover, covering the whole ground in there. So, hello to the YouTube chat as well. So today I just want to point out that the latency on the stream is a little bit increased because I was like, after this long, I probably should turn on the closed captions. And you can't turn on the closed captions if the stream is set to low latency. So if there's a slightly longer delay between your messages and my response, that will be why. But for those of you who require closed captions, they will be available. Live closed captions. I cannot say that they're going to be any good because it's an automatic YouTube process. But yeah, so we've got some stuff to talk about today, a couple of news articles. We've got, of course, Target has just, I guess, preemptively announced that they're not going to have Pride stuff in their stores this year. And the other major story that I want to talk about today is a teenage girl is suing her school over them, like, not allowing her to wear a dress because she's trans to some kind of state competition or something like that. So we'll be looking over that article from Aaron in the morning. And yeah, so those are kind of the two major things that I want to discuss today. There are a couple more links over in the stream recommendations channel in the Discord server that I might look over. If you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss, you can shout it out in chat, of course. But if we're off stream, you're welcome to join the Discord and post your suggestions in the stream recommendations for what you would like us to cover and talk about. Snoogan, hello! Mersh says, I signed a petition to get Target to reconsider not having LGBTQIA plus content. Interesting. We'll see how it goes. It's still about 2 weeks out from Pride. Oh my god, today's the 19th. So yeah, just about 2 weeks before Pride Month starts. So we'll see if there's going to be any update or change to this in the next couple of weeks. But, we're kind of talking about the difference between a petition versus bomb threats. And so, it seems to me like Target is going to be more interested in kowtowing to terrorism as opposed to just hiring more security and increasing security measures. I did see it in Target earlier this year, but our community pride celebration is in April. Are you non-US? Because I think that, in the US, in America, many stores are going to be focusing more on this whole, the focal point is around June. Like, there may be some conservatives who are mad about a rainbow display in April, but I don't really see them being particularly, like, galvanized, or there wouldn't be as many of them, whereas there's kind of an awareness that, Tallahassee, Florida. Okay, yeah, so I'm assuming that that's mostly because, yeah, a couple spare people might have been annoyed here or there, but that there's not, this overwhelming attention on it. Thank you, Jessica. What's up, Igor? Hello. Thank you over in the YouTube chat. In the YouTube chat, don't forget, hit the like button. And then if you want to, head on over to the website, luxander.net/live, where we have the custom chat with the custom emojis, and where your donations come directly to me without YouTube taking 30% of your money. So, yes. Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday, Chandler. Happy belated birthday. Hope you had a good day yesterday. I'd be hiring security. Yeah. Um, God forbid. So, but we're not getting into the topic just yet. We're gonna chill, vibe, talk about whatever for a little bit, and just kind of enjoy spending some time together. You know? It's always nice for you all to see your friends in chat and, have fun conversations. It's always fun for me to do a little bit of interaction and just talk about what's going on with me right now. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but I gotta be awake for work. RIP. I will say, and I'm very grateful, I've been sleeping a lot better these last couple of nights. Like, there was, like, most of this past week, I just was sleeping, like, not very well, waking up a bunch, having weird, dreams, and I'm still having very vivid dreams, but the last few days have been way less stressful. Like, I keep having dreams about school. Does anybody else have that? Like, it's like, why am I dreaming about being in high school? And it's weird because in my dreams, I'm like, I know that I'm 30. It's not like I'm back in time and I'm a teenager all over again. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 30. And I was like, oh, I'm in the cafeteria eating a really big lunch. And like, this would make sense if I was a teenager and I was burning all this off, but my metabolism is probably slower now. Like, so many different weird things. I also keep having dreams recently about not being able to find a clean toilet. Like, in a public, like, in this dream that I had about school last night, I was like, there's just no clean toilets. Or, for some reason, all the toilets are, like, out in the open, and there aren't any, like, stalls. It's very weird. I don't know, what the deal is about that. Sometimes I think dreams have an obvious thing they're telling you. Like, when I have dreams, if I have a nightmare, this is what the nightmare is about. The nightmare is about I'm bothered by something, or someone is ignoring me or disregarding my feelings, and then I try to express that I'm upset. And it's always something that would really, really obviously upset me. Like, it's very clear. If I go, like, in the dream, I go on a road trip to somewhere very far away, and everyone who I traveled there with just leaves me at the Airbnb all day without saying where they're going. And then when I try to address that with them, they tell me, like, get over it, we don't want to hang out with you anyway. That's a pretty clear message that, like, I feel in my conscious brain as though my needs are not being taken into consideration, and that trying to advocate for myself never bears fruit. Like, so that might not even be an anxiety that is true, but it is clearly an anxiety that I'm working through subconsciously. But, like, dreams about going back to school or, like, being in high school again as a 30-year-old, not sure what that means, but it's happened several times recently. And having the dreams about trying to find a toilet, like, okay, yeah, sometimes if your bladder is full in the night, you'll dream about trying to find a toilet and not being able to find one, right? But, like, that was not the issue last night. I don't think. It was super weird. The toilet dream is too real. Okay, Fuzzums in the YouTube chat. I still have dreams about being late for elementary school as an adult, and I realize every time, what am I doing here? I graduated college. Oh, geez. Hey, that's great to hear him, Jack. After that YouTube chatter in the previous stream mentioned that private COVID boosters are available in the UK, I investigated and now I'm booked to get one tomorrow. Yes, I'm so excited for you. That's good. Hey, kitty. Good morning. Glad to hear some reduced stress. I've been having the weirdest dreams lately. I've been way more interactive with the dream than usual. Like, I normally know I am in the dream and won't talk to the fake people in there. However, the last few nights I've been talking to the people and actively interacting with the object from the dream as though they are important. There have only been a handful of times in my life where I've realized that I'm dreaming while I'm dreaming, and it's usually because something stressful is happening. Like, one time I was, like, in a hallway in a house, like a narrow hallway at the end of the hall, and, there's, like, a couple of doors on either side, and there was, like, a man who was taller than me, like being really aggressive to me in this hallway. And it was like scaring me and freaking me out. And I realized that I was dreaming, and then I went somewhere else, but then I forgot that I was dreaming again. That's the only time it happens, is like something really stressful is going on, and it's only happened like 3 or 4 times. Something stressful is happening, I realize I'm dreaming, and then I go somewhere else. Or I'm like, it's okay, I'm dreaming. That happened one time too. I was like, it's okay, I'm dreaming. And then I just lapsed back into the dream, so I don't actually lucid at all. My nightmares involve running away or fighting against monsters, something trying to get me. Yeah, that's stressful. That's a good theory, Mersh. You worry about people harassing you while using the toilet in waking life. It's understandable that you would think the toilet is dirty. Turfs would be the quote dirt. Also, dreams of school would make sense as well due to the challenges that are going on. You're thinking about simpler and easier times to understand, feeling overwhelmed in the present. That's a really interesting theory. Like that, first of all, yeah, it would make sense. If I have anxiety about toilets and public restrooms, then sure, that would translate into my dreams. That would kind of make sense. And then, yeah, school is such a, it's like a simple, your problems are so simple when you're a kid. You know, you're like, oh, who am I going to the prom with? And, ooh, I need to make sure that I'm, getting to my classes on time. And, ooh, there's gym class. Like, you know, and of course, when I was a teenager, I was also dealing with like having an abusive parent and everything. But yeah, it makes sense. The problems, if I were in high school, I think that the issues that I'd be dealing with would be a lot more manageable than what I'm dealing with now. Like, yeah, sometimes I would say I feel that my problems in my life are like not solvable. So, yeah, that makes sense. Toilets and dreams are traps. Yeah, never use the toilet in a dream. Uh, that is some age-old wisdom. Kitty says, something that can trigger the realization is when you go to sleep, think about how mirrors are supposed to look. Then in the dream, look at a mirror and the reflection is missing is super messed up, snaps the dream into lucid, lets you control the dream and have a better night. I don't know that I actually want to lucid dream. Because I feel like there's no way you can be getting proper rest if you are like semi-conscious while you're dreaming. I don't know. People who lucid will have to tell me. I feel as though if, because like the point of being asleep is that I'm unconscious or that I'm not aware to an extent. So if I'm aware that I'm dreaming, that feels to me like it would be not very restful. Dreams are the path to enlightenment. A lot of the time, I think that dreams are kind of meaningless. It's just your brain chewing on what happened during the day, processing your short term memory into long term memory, discarding irrelevant information. But if you're having dreams that are recurrent, and if you're having dreams that have very obvious parallels to your real life situations, then yeah, I think that it could help you at least. It's not like prophetic. I don't think that it's necessarily like this will lead you to enlightenment, but it can help you focus up on issues. If I were to talk to my therapist and be like, I keep having nightmares about people abandoning me and not caring about me and neglecting me and ignoring me, then yeah, like that might be something that she and I could work out and be like, well, what are some things we can do during the daytime when we're awake to strategize and, how can we establish mutually supportive relationships so that you don't end up worrying about, like, abandonment, basically? Like, people not caring about your feelings, people ignoring your boundaries, those are the kind of things that I have, like, the worst dreams about. Personally, I love lucid dreams. If I get attacked, I can choose to fly or summon a lightsaber. I guess that would be pretty good. I could see that. If it can redirect your badness of the dream, then I could see maybe you would be getting better rest if you weren't having a nightmare or a stress dream. What's up, Kenzie? Jump flying has occurred in my dreams twice, where you jump and fly a little bit at the end of the jump and then float downward. I get flying sometimes, not really much anymore. Used to happen more often. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I think dreams are the secret. I don't think dreams are they're like the pathway to any greater understanding of anything other than what am I stressed about right now? Like, what am I thinking about? What is going on in my brain? From what I understand, dreaming is a low-level sleep that's only partially restful anyway. They lead into and out of our REM cycles, hopefully 2 to 3 times a night in 8 hours, depending on your cycle. Lucid dreaming is the same rest for me as regular dreaming, and I never leave my dream state. It's why I feel so shitty every morning. Too much sleep anxiety. Intrusive thoughts during dreams that turn into something that happens in the dream. It's the worst. Right, yeah. Yeah. Anxieties showing themselves during a dream. Not very fun. But, I'm grateful that I'm at least not having, like, full-blown nightmares. It's still stressful being in a dream state where, you're trying to find a bathroom and you can't find one. Dreams are your brain pooping. I love that. That's great. Dreaming about being at work. Yeah, I would say that that's a big indication of stress. I never have dreams about streaming, which I'm going to take as a good sign. I've been doing this job for like 2 years. Getting close to 2.5 years, I guess now. And I don't ever feel like this is a point of stress for me in my dreams. Jackie, thank you so much for the $5 dono. I really appreciate that. Hell yeah. Look at that. We've got $15 out of a possible $100 stream goal. Oh man, speaking of stream goal, and the fact that I flex every time we get to the stream goal, I did leg day on Friday, and it's the first time I've done leg day since, December. And oh my god, my legs hurt so much. Like, oh no. It was a little bit worse yesterday. Today it's okay, but I am about to sit here for 4 hours, so it might be that after I get done sitting here for 4 hours that my body hurts a little bit. This last week I had my first stream about transition. It was odd and directly related to the problem I was having. Fun stuff. Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit in the server, in the Discord server, and someone said that they had a dream. They've been having dreams involving trains, and that basically they were taking that to as an understanding of you're on a journey of some kind. And that made sense because this person is like transitioning, so there's, ongoing journey kind of thing happening. Ooh. I had semi-conscious night terrors till I was age 7 and would become violent defending myself when people would try to wake me. What a crazy start to life. Ended up reading a lot when I couldn't sleep. Yeah, I never had night terrors. One of my younger siblings had night terrors a bit. But it was more like they would walk around the house crying, like not fully awake. So, definitely weird stuff. I'm not sure what episode of The Line you're on, Lux. I know you're in one last year, but I was trying to look at the one from like a month ago. I would look up on YouTube The Line and then Luxander and see, because I was on one 2 weeks ago and then another one like a month or two ago. But the last 2 times that I was on there were kind of a little bit boring. And then the most recent time I was on the Transatlantic Call-In show, it was a lot more fun. There were more spicy callers. Brains are weird enough when we're awake. Being asleep is wild. Right. Yeah, so sometimes, you don't need to seek deeper meaning for your dreams. Like, a lot of the time there just isn't deeper meaning. Just go, huh, that was a weird dream. Strange. But if you're getting the same dreams over and over again, and it's very obvious that they're reflective of something going on in your real life, maybe take that as an indication that you should work on those stressors a bit, So, yeah, being back in the gym is pretty good. Too bad Mama Mephistopheles isn't here right now to talk about how she's working out and getting more buff. Like, I went really hardcore on arms day, and then I did leg day, and then I'm basically gonna go hard on arms again tomorrow. I really wanna, like... Previously, when I've been at the gym, I've been concerned enough about, injuring myself that I've been like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna push this to, like, I'm not gonna risk potentially hurting myself. I do think I need better wrist straps, because my hands aren't, like, my hands hurt when I have to grip something. Like, I'll be doing the lat pulls, which is, I grab the bar and I pull it down, and that works your back and your biceps. I tapped my triceps when I said that. So you pull it down, and my hands are just like, so sore afterwards. So I need better wrist straps. But I think I should stop worrying so much about, like, a minor injury. Not gonna go crazy, but I am so concerned for my health that I don't do things in the way that is actually optimal for my goals. Every day is leg day. I mean, apparently I don't do squats. I remember having mad calluses when I used to weightlift. Oh yeah, no, and I don't mean my skin. Like, yeah, you get those calluses right here from pulling the bar, but I mean, like, my fingers hurt, like ache. Usually do cardio. Yeah, I did cardio for like a few months there because I was trying to do some body recomposition. Gonna install a new kitchen sink counter and faucet today, and hopefully plant 5 to 10 new plants. So today it's gonna be mostly arms and chest day with some crab walks or heel walks. But, yeah, just like crab walk. I love a good crab walk. When I would stock the shelves, I would be like crouched down, and then instead of like standing up and then going over to the next area, I would just like scoot along with my feet still in the little crouch position. Yeah, it's my fingers. Are you doing a specific program with a trainer or managing yourself? Hi from a gym rat. What's up, Fen? Good to see a fellow gym rat in the chat. I am not doing a specific program, and I'm not working with a trainer. If y'all are curious, we're going to talk about this for a minute. Hit the like button before you leave if you're bored by this conversation. So on arms day, I do a compound exercise where I start with a barbell curl, and then I push the barbell curl into an overhead press, and then back down, and then back down. So that's a nice compound exercise. You combine, like, the pull and the push. And of course, like, it's biceps, it's shoulders, and that's like... So I do cardio for a minute to warm up, and then I do that. And then I usually go and do the lat pull down. So pull down. And then I head over to the press machine, the chest press, and I do presses, which is basically like... What the fuck are they called? I can't remember what the normal lift is called when you're, like, laying on your back and you do the press. But yeah, I'm using the machine because it's a little bit more controlled. And then I usually do rows because I'm doing my archery thing and I need my lats to be nice and strong. So I go do rows like this. And then I'll usually cool down by going and doing some ab work. And then on leg day, I'm still working out leg day and trying to figure it out exactly, but right now I did squats and then bench press. Thank you. I'm doing a chest press machine instead of bench press. But then on leg day, I do squats. Well, I warm up with cardio, and then I do squats, and then I did leg curls, where, your legs are, like, out, and then you curl down, and you're working, like, the back muscles of your legs doing that. And then I did calf raises, where, like, you put weight on, and then you just, like, lift your feet up, and it works your calves and your soleus. That's what I'm doing so far for leg day. I'm still kind of working out leg day. I might also add in leg raises where your legs are bent and then the exercise that you're doing is lifting up and that works your quads on top. So yeah, and then of course I cool down doing some ab work, and that's basically what my workout is like right now. And yeah, it'll probably stay that way for a while. The point is for me to increase the appearance of muscle, like increase the appearance and like the bigness of it all. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I know some people are not into working out for the sake of working out. I guess it's not working out for the sake of working out. It's not like I'm doing it because I'm like, oh, you know, I should be healthy or anything. It's no, I have aesthetic goals. I want to look a certain way. I'm doing all these very specific stretches for my back to try to get rid of my dowager's hump, because I have like that crook in my neck right here where there's like, it's just my neck like juts forward, and so I'm working on that. Glad to hear you kicking ass in the gym and having a good set rotation focused on things you actually do in your life versus just the pursuit of a muscle look. Super important. I mean, it's a combination, right? I want to have a specific aesthetic goal, but also I don't want to end up super like uneven because I'm doing archery and my left shoulder is getting stronger because of like that's my stability, and like when you push the bow arm out, you know, you need your shoulder, and then I'm working my back a lot on the right side, but I want it to be fairly even. Don't want to get it too crazy uneven. So, yes. Okay, yeah, and we're at $15 on the donos. Yes, I did update that earlier, just double checking. Also want higher long-term quality of life. Yeah, cardio, working out, it's good for you in terms of, yeah, being healthier, being capable. I don't want to get old and be incapable, you know? Igor wants to know, hey guys, what was your worst injury while working out / training / sparring? Mine was 2 broken ribs at the Krav Maga real-life sparring situation, and it sucked. Yeah, I don't think I've ever broken a rib before. I think I subluxed one of my ribs one time, but that's like dislocating it, not breaking it. Fen is a power building kind of gym rat. Split back buys, chest tries, legs posterior chain, and legs mostly quads. I also train strength with deadlift, bench press, and squats. But yeah, get big. I think that I should do strength building for my legs and do hypertrophy for my upper, because I don't actually want to have giant legs. But yeah, I'm just going to keep things consistent for a while. My workout goal right now is a 7-minute mile before my 35th birthday. Good goal to have. I work out to be healthy and look good naked. Hey! You know, we all appreciate looking good naked. That's why I'm doing body recomp right now, is that like, I have a little bit of fluff, a little bit of fluff. So we're gonna try to trim that. Having flashbacks to the multi-minute planks in high school. Oh my god, dude. Planks. Did anybody ever do sports that made you do suicides? Or ladders is what they're called if you're being nice. Where, you know, let's say you're running across the basketball court. You sprint to the 1/4 mark and then back. And then you sprint to the halfway mark and then back. And then the 3/4 mark and then back. And then all the way down and then back. Oh my god. They always, yeah, like the teachers insisted that we call them ladders, but we called them suicides. It was, it was pretty intense. I got a few stitches. Like I got, you know, when you get that like big muscle cramp. Kitty Tick says, once I perforated a tendon in my hip, probably from bad stretching or cooling down. Please don't skip that. I still limp and I have back problems because it wasn't serious enough for surgery. Oh, that's rough. From bad stretching or cooling down? Yeah, I'm really bad about stretching. Hate ladders. Yeah, it's rough. We called them Dallas 80s because we do ladders 80 yards long. Fuck. Oh my god. Gotta drink more water, man. Didn't drink enough water before the show started, and now my voice is all dry. So dry. Nomadic says, took a staff to the nose hard enough to flip me back on my head as a teenager. My fault mostly. Oh no. "71 viewers. Can we get to 69 likes? That's my first goal. My first stream goal for today is getting to 69 likes. Got the fresh haircut. Got the crisp sides. My back of my hair is still messy AF because I'm trying to grow this out. What if I just cut all of my hair to be this length? It's like 5-6 inches long. What if I just cut all of my hair? I really seriously considered it this week. You know when you're really going through something and you have the impulse to just shave your entire head? I was like, I will regret this. I will very much regret this if I do that. But girl, we came close. It was a rough week. Decoy Duck says, like the stream. Excuse me. Oh my god. So much gas. Worst country... the worst cross-country workout is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 2-mile run, 2 1-mile runs, 3 80-meter runs, 4 400s, 5 200s, and then 6 suicides. Oh, man. Oh, no. Almost shaved my head like 3 times this year. Mercedes has had some crises this year. Came close to shaving your head 3 times, and it's fucking May. We're not even halfway through. Damn. Hope you're doing okay. Jeez. Completely unrelated to the topic, but did you see RGR is back? Yeah. So Riley Grace Rochong, who disgraced herself a few years ago by pedo-jacketing a sexual assault survivor, like a child sexual assault survivor, a trafficking victim, completely destroyed her reputation by making some of the dumbest fucking arguments I've ever heard in my life. She's trying to be a lawyer. She's trying to be a lawyer and a politician. So, yeah, I saw that she's back, and the reason why I know she's back is because Progressive Victory, which is a nonprofit organization that I have volunteered with before, doing like, hey, let's stream and try to get people to volunteer or try to get people to donate to try to, you know, let's make sure that this campaign succeeds. Let's make sure that this liberal-leaning judge gets voted into the state Supreme Court in Wisconsin or whatever. They hired her as their streaming coordinator and like social media outreach person. And I have divested myself from Progressive Victory as a result. I think that hiring her was a massive mistake. I think it's one of the dumbest fucking things that they've done. But I am also saying this about an organization that has close ties with Destiny, of all people. The extremely divorced Twitch streamer who has sexually assaulted people on stream. And makes fun of rape victims and all kinds of stuff like that. So, yeah, it's great. So there were already reasons for me to not be, like, hugely supportive of Progressive Victory, but hiring Riley was just like, wow, this is, like, both parts of your name are wrong. Progressive and Victory. Like, both parts are wrong. Like, how can you say that this is a progressive organization and then work with fucking reactionaries? Like, yeah. Riley Grace Rochong being back, combined with another 2-hour Essence of Thought attack video about Rachel Oates, made me feel like we're back in 2020. She can't stop. Essence of Thought, Ethel, she just can't stop. it's really just cringe. I feel bad for her. I think that she needs really intensive mental health care, and she's just not doing it. Yeah, so I say sexually assault, and people will probably maybe take issue with me saying that, but he's groped people on stream. Like, at least one woman he groped on stream. And then another time he was streaming, I think, with his wife in a hot tub, and he, like, put himself inside her on stream, just, like, under the water. So Destiny is, quite a character. Yeah, I know, it's only May. What the fuck? It's just really sad to me when people can't. Oh yeah, with Trump versus Biden discourse on top of everything, we've just been thrown back in time. 71 likes. Look at that. I missed 69. Sorry. That was nice while it lasted. Now we'll get to 100. We'll see. So, yeah. It really does kind of feel at this moment like time is a flat circle. There's just, it's like, what do you... We're still talking about Trump versus Biden, you know, like the Democratic Party hasn't decided to run someone else. The Republican Party hasn't decided to run someone else. We are going to do a debate. I heard that there's going to be a debate between these two old geezers in a, what, like later in June? Something along those lines. It's just embarrassing at this point. But what are you going to do? Okay, I'm really curious. I'm sure that she's still doing better than me, but I'm curious. You know, people like Ethel are so focused on hatred. Essence of Thought. Whoa, I cannot type today. Where's she at? Where's she at? Ethel has 42,000 subscribers. I am hoping by the end of this year that we will get to 40,000 subs. I would love to do that this year. This past week, we gained so many new subscribers. The James Somerton video did fucking numbers, which, you know, it makes sense. I haven't seen anybody else covering it, so I guess, you know, my video is like one of the most recent updates. Ethel, she has this channel, Essence of Thought. She's just super hateful, woke scold who bitches about everything. And when someone does something that she doesn't like, she uses the most extreme, technically true language to describe that person and their behavior to justify pretty intense retaliation against them. And that's a pattern that I just kind of don't respect, you know? I, you know, as someone who's been through very intensive emotion regulation training, like, using the most inflammatory language possible to describe someone's behavior, it is just toxic, harmful, like not useful. And it's like, it not only is it toxic for the discourse, but it's also toxic for the individual. When you're going, you know, oh my God, this person is a violent transphobe because they have issues with women in sports, like trans women in sports. Yeah, I disagree with that. I disagree with the person who thinks that going through testosterone puberty confers some kind of unfair advantage that lasts for a lifetime. You know, I disagree with that position. And I do think that that person is inadvertently advocating against trans rights. Like, it's like in some circles, like there was at least one UN declaration that was like, participating in sports is considered a human right because it is about like participating in public life. And the fact that participation in sports is supposed to be like a community building thing, if you deny a class of people access to this public participation, this community thing, then that is a violation of their human dignity and their human rights, right? And so like the term violence in this context, technically speaking, one of the definitions of violence is denying someone their rights. Like, denying someone their rights is a type of violence. But everybody knows, and you'd have to be either very disingenuous or a fucking idiot to argue that, or like to not realize that saying someone is a violent transphobe, when you say that, people think physical violence, because that's the overwhelming majority of the time what the word violent means. So by portraying someone as a violent transphobe when they have just verbally advocated against trans women in sports, which again, I do not agree with, that is still, you know, it's disingenuous. It's bad faith. It's a bad faith argument, and people do that to justify retaliation. Like, it is wrong for this guy to have been doing that. Rationality rules, if any of you are familiar with the, again, discourse from like 5 years ago. Like, it is wrong for him to do that. And he is, like, bad at arguing for that reason. Or, like, he has a bad position, and I don't agree with it. And I think it's harmful on top of everything else. But I'm not gonna, like, describe his behavior in a way that obviously conveys a much more intense, a much more egregious violation, because I'm not trying to justify destroying someone's career, basically, you know? Like, it can be true that someone did something wrong in the first place, and true that your response to that is disproportionate. You can also be fucking up and doing something wrong by describing him as a violent transphobe. And you are. You're doing something wrong. But Ethel is pretty much always a bad faith participant in these discussions. Like, this is a situation where two wrongs don't make a right. Rationality Rules was wrong, and Ethel was wrong. And I think in this particular instance that her disproportionate retaliation was the worst of the two things. Just my personal opinion. That's, you know, it's arguable. But I think that in responding to someone doing something wrong, you can make the situation worse, and your reaction can be, like, worse than the original transgression. This is some ancient tea you're heating. Listen, it's not my fault Ethel is back. Back at it again with the white vans attacking Rachel Oates. A new disease is spreading like wildfire. The only thing not reverting to 4 years ago is my baseline. My waistline. What new disease? H5N1? We're talking about bird flu? We're stuck in a time loop. We're stuck in a loop where everything is repeating. Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. Like, when someone upsets me, I spend time talking to my therapist and talking to my friends and thinking over what I'm gonna say over and over again and writing it down and editing it. And, like, I endeavor to not make things worse. Even if someone has harmed me, I'm not going to respond in a way that further inflames the situation, because I don't care to make things worse. I'm like a problem-solving oriented person, and, you know, I'm gonna just, like, approach things in that way, where if someone has made a wrong argument, I'll go, well, you know, here are the reasons why your argument is wrong, and even here are the reasons why it's harmful, and even here are the reasons how it's harmful directly to me. But, like, telling someone that they've done something wrong is different than, like, vilifying someone for doing something wrong and, like, attacking them for it and, like, denigrating them for it. So I just see this play out over and over and over again, particularly in political situations where, you know, it makes sense, I guess, on some level to label your political enemies in this way, but I just don't care to be in community with those people. So I think Ethel fucking sucks, and I never want to work with her. Dengue fever is making its way north slowly but surely. I haven't even heard about that. Holy crap. Yeah, it's Groundhog Day. We're living the same day over and over and over again. Oh, it's so cringe. So, but thank you to everybody who watched the James Somerton video. Just, again, tying back to, like, you know, the success of the channel right now. We've been gaining a lot of subscribers, which is great. And I'm hoping, I'm kind of drifting away from talking exclusively about trans stuff. I'm still going to talk about it because that's my life. It's relevant to me and what's going on with me. Well, we have one story today that's kind of just generally LGBT, and one story today that is specifically about trans people. And then probably toward later in the stream, we'll do Feed the Dragon, which is a new segment we're doing on the show, where you can go to the Discord server, find the channel called Feed the Dragon, and you can submit pictures or videos with no copyrighted music of either delicious food or animals, cute pets, whatever, and I will judge them and tell you whether your offering, whether your sacrifice has been accepted or whether I'm burning it with fire. So we will be probably doing Feed the Dragon closer toward the end of the show. I know Milena posted a ton in there before, so yeah. Oh boy. You've been killing your thumbnails and titles recently. Great leet speak and ducking the censors. It's been fun. I feel like things have been going pretty well. This past month in particular, the channel is starting to pick up some speed, and I hope that continues. People say, I wish they would stop making being LGBT their whole personality. My brother in Christ, you never stop giving us topics and tragedies to shine a light on. Yeah. There's just always stuff going on. I hadn't seen any tweets from Erin Reed in a while, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she's even posting right now. So I went to her website, erinninthemorning.com, and no, it's like, no, she's still posting on her website, just maybe not in Twitter. Just maybe not on Twitter. So I'm kind of like, oh, well, we have at least one story that she's covered. I don't really need to cover... Oh, this new state just did a million different anti-trans laws. Like, okay, we get it. Let's see if we can move on a little from that. Yes, I have a crochet hook in my hands. This is a 1.75 millimeter hook that I was using to make a Nazar, or a evil eye, and I fucked it up, and then I got really frustrated and I tore it all apart, and I may start it again at some point, but... I was like, oh, I should hang an evil eye talisman. Does YouTube have a Discord plugin? I don't think so. You just have to go to the description and find the link and click in. Yeah, tiny guy. This is not even my smallest hook, okay? Okay, like I've got this this big one. This is an 11.5 millimeter hook, okay? This is for chunky yarns. Chunky. And then my smallest hook is 1 millimeter. No, this isn't even my smallest one. My smallest hook is 0.5 millimeters. Let's see if I can find it in my little pile of crochet hooks right here. Okay. I showed this to one of my friends who's kind of older, and he you know, didn't have his glasses, and he was like, I don't even believe there's a hook on that. Let's see if I can show it to you. There's too much light reflection. It's super tiny, but I promise it's there. And it's annoying when people are like, oh, I wish you wouldn't make being LGBT your whole personality. Like, again, YouTube is, like, limiting me because my subscribers subscribed to me for trans stuff. So if I try to talk about something else, those videos don't do as well. You know? I did a video this week that was like a Reddit Am I the Asshole post, And just for your frame of reference, let's look at the past, like, 7 or 8 videos that I've made. Well, I guess it sort of depends. Some of the trans stuff doesn't do as well either. Here's a trans one, got 1,600 views. Here's a trans one, got 1,300 views. Cis woman illegally films trans girl in the bathroom, 4,700 views. Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling, 3,800. Forcibly detransitioning trans kids, 3,800. James Somerton, 49,000. So I will say, I guess there's a little bit of an incentive there to talk about drama posting. Reddit Am I the Asshole post, 1.7, or like, I guess 1,700. And then Transvestigator Fail, 5,400. And granted, the 5,400, like, that was after the James Somerton thing, so, you know, we're picking up some speed, though. We're picking things up. Yeah, also, this is coming from the people who make being straight their entire personality. Lace hook for making the lace. Yeah, it would have to be so tiny. There is nothing I have done yet that requires a 0.5 millimeter hook. I do feel like the core watching audience is half here for the trans stuff and half because you interesting as hell. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sex sells, but drama is the new sex, yeah. And the audience for the videos is different than the audience for the live streams. The live streams, listen, y'all are here knowing that I'm going to talk about trans stuff, but also knowing that I'm going to ramble and talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. So, you've got that. You know that it's going to be a fun time, a fun chill time, where we're going to mix the politics with the hanging out. We don't really do games that much. I find gaming while streaming is pretty difficult, especially because I need a new video card. Like, she's working fine, but she does get a little overtaxed. I thought we were all here for the dicks. Dicks, 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 dicks. It's pee-pee. It's really dusty. It hasn't been in my pants for a while, so it's just been on my desk collecting dust. Blech. I enjoy your non-LGBT hangouts also, but I've been AFK for a couple weeks, finally in a shelter after 14 months outdoors. I am so sorry that you spent so long outdoors, but I am really glad that you found shelter, and I hope that that means that you're going to improve your circumstances soon. One day the beavers will return. Yeah, I don't play games like that anymore. I find that I don't enjoy them anymore. But I also, like, don't spend a lot of time playing games. I'll sit there and play Picross for a while, but I just haven't been into it. I picked up The Conquest of Bread by Peter Kropotkin, so I'm gonna be reading that. I started it this morning. I spend too much time scrolling Facebook. That's how I keep myself entertained. But I'm also trying to, stop doing that as much, spend more time in my actual life, make time to clean the kitchen, make time to clean the bathroom, things of this nature. Everybody's here for the dicks and the pussy. That's what y'all are here for. You're simple creatures with simple needs. Turns out when you got something good to say, people tend to listen. I hope that things continually trend in that direction. Lux officially becoming a bread tuber. It's true. If I read The Conquest of Bread, then I'm more of a bread tuber than most other bread tubers. I delete Facebook on work days and then re-download it every weekend. It was far too distracting. Right. I haven't been on Facebook as much the last couple of days. I'm doing one of my, I don't want to be on here. 80 likes. Thank you all so much for chilling, like villains, for hanging out. We will talk about Target. I promise. We will talk about the actual subject. We will get there. But we're gonna meander there, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Or leave, which is also acceptable. I can't force you to stay. I saw earlier before stream started that Decoy Duck mentioned we were just talking about Jenny Nicholson and the fact that she hadn't uploaded in, over a year. And she just posted like a 4-hour long video. And then Demon Mama had been on a little break because she was moving, and she just streamed again last night. I wasn't there because we were watching The Two Towers and then The Return of the King and then Fifth Element. We spent all day watching movies yesterday. It was so good. You are badass. I guess. I'll take it. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I'll take it. A crocheted packer, big brain. I've been avoiding getting a packer because I didn't want an unwieldy silicone thing, and socks seemed like a bit simple. I'll have to make one. Yeah, this one I made following a pattern, but if I were to do it again, I would probably just wing it and figure it out as I go. And also, this one obviously is not the color that it should be. But yeah. And like, my thing is that I don't want balls. So every single packer that you can buy has balls on it. And even if it didn't have balls, it would be impossible to keep it in the right place in your pants. So I made this with the little tab on it so that I can safety pin it into my underwear. I don't really wear it that much, though. Obviously, it's been on my desk collecting dust for a while. My roommates watched those movies last night. Really? The Two Towers, Return of the King, and The Fifth Element? Because we had already watched Fellowship of the Ring, like, last week or the week before. Ooh, itchy. Yeah, packers with a built-in orky. Later, Andes, have fun at work. The non-binary struggle. I know. Like, I just want a peep. I don't want bowls. I don't need bowls. Not part of it. Oh man, I've made a mistake. I've drank too much coffee in the first hour of this stream. I might have to go and use the restroom a little earlier than I normally would. Love, 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 love. So, does anybody else have anything that you would like to be covered today when we get into it? Like I said, I have Peep and Bowls is the funniest thing I've heard. Yeah, steal it. So in the stream recommendations channel, like I said, so we have Target back on, not doing Pride stuff this year. Something about Trump and big oil, although I don't think I really care about that. And then Max shared a link about the first person with Down syndrome to ever earn a graduate degree ever in the entire world has just done so, which is pretty crazy. I don't know that that's going to be like a segment on the channel, but we can discuss it on the show. But yeah, fascinating. And then yeah, my story that I pulled up on Aaron in the morning where, yeah, civil rights complaint filed over Mississippi Public Schools biological sex dress code. That can't possibly be in line with the First Amendment, so we'll see how that goes. Did someone earlier say something about Lux as being the next philosophy tube? She puts so much work into her stuff. I do not put that much work into my videos. There's no way. I'm just gonna be like a jack of all trades. Like I stream a little bit and then I do my own editing and stuff. So I'm like, I dabble in doing the editing and things, and then probably start posting more on Fansly. Because I haven't done that like since I moved, but I've been wanting to lately. Let's put on some fun outfits and post thirst traps that are titillating, but don't actually show anything on Fansly. Yeah, I've never ridden a horse on stream. I'm not gonna put together elaborate costumes for the show. Like, probably not gonna happen. Ugh. Yeah, maybe in a second here I'll have to go use the restroom and take another Ritalin because we're entering the time of day where the Ritalin that I took this morning is wearing off. Cece says family instead of fansly. Yeah. There are certain words that it does not pick up very well. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. She's got editors and makeup artists and stuff. Yeah. Her show's big enough that she's hired people. Cover myself in chocolate syrup while H-Bomb awkwardly enters off stage. I don't have the emotional resources to put as much work into stuff as Philosophy Tube. I wonder, so the conquest of bread is in the public domain, so I could technically make ASMR content out of this, or not even strictly ASMR content, but like just reading it, you know? Like, Chapter 1, Our Riches. The human race has traveled far since those bygone ages when men used to fashion their rude implements of flint and lived on the precarious spoils of the chase, leaving to their children for their only heritage a shelter beneath the rocks, some poor utensils, and nature, vast, ununderstood, and terrific, with whom they had to fight for their wretched existence. It's in the public domain. I could do that. I could do that. Like, what a great chapter start. I read the preface this morning, and the preface was like, okay, it's a little bit far-reaching, and also was written after the book had been published for a while. Like, Chapter 1, Our Riches. Chapter 2, Well-Being for All. Chapter 3, Anarchist Communism. I'm entering the time of the day that day drinking is taking effect. I'm sober right now. It's kind of nice. I'm enjoying it so far. I even had a day this week where I felt like absolute shit and hated everything about my life, and I wasn't tempted to drink. It was crazy. Expropriation, Chapter 4. Chapter 5, Food. Oh my god, Chapter 5, Food is quite a long chapter. Chapter 6, Dwellings. Chapter 7, Clothing. What language was this originally in? Because it was originally published in, like, 1892, and then it was translated into English in 1907. I don't know what the language originally was. But, okay, yeah, Chapter 7, Clothing. I would love to hear you do audiobooks, especially by trans authors. I would need permission for that. Chapter 8, Ways and Means. Chapter 9, The Need for Luxury. Chapter 10, Agreeable Work. Chapter 11, Free Agreement. Chapter 12, Objections. Chapter 13, The Collectivist Wages System. Chapter 14, Consumption and Production. 15, The Division of Labor. That's a very short chapter. Chapter 16, The Decentralization of Industry. Chapter 17, Agriculture. And that's the end of the book. Also by Peter Kropotkin, Mutual Aid, A Factor in Evolution. Fields, Factories, and Workshops. Memoirs of a Revolutionist. Well-priced books by other authors. Of course, The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. State and Revolution by Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Oh my god, Vladimir Lenin, okay. Socialism, Utopian and Scientific by Friedrich Engels. And that's what's in there. What is Fansly? Have you ever heard of OnlyFans? So OnlyFans, like, typically has this reputation for people posting porn. Like, it's where an individual person can post videos and pictures of porn. And then Fansly is a competitor website to OnlyFans. I don't post porn. I post thirst traps. Fully clothed. Sometimes, like, very short shorts or whatever. Provocative posing, sure. But no porn. Old writing is so goofy with how flowery it can be. I mean, it's also in a different language, and it was translated in 1907. So, yeah, it's a little different. Audiobooks aren't technically considered transformative content, but I dispute that heavily. I don't dispute that, because the point of fair use laws and stuff like that is like, okay, if I read The Conquest of Bread for you, it's because you were not going to read it. You will listen to the audiobook. So that is supplanting the original market for the book. But because it's in the public domain and it's only being sold for what it costs to print the book, basically, no one's profiting off of this. If I read it to you, then it would be okay, and it wouldn't matter that you weren't planning on buying the book. It was originally in French by a Russian guy. I thought that it was French. I don't know why I thought that, but I was like, this seems like it was translated from French. On my reading list after finishing... Oh, so Conquest of Bread is on your reading list after finishing Adult Children of Narcissist Recovery book. That's cool. I know some people who think that their dad was a narcissist, and so I could see that book being pretty useful. Although, again, as we covered extensively in the James Somerton video, I do think that it's something we should be careful about, labeling people narcissists without, due cause. I hope you're going to post content to Fansly with The Conquest of Bread with a title along the lines of Getting Bread. True. Is it okay if you pause throughout to discuss it with chat? That would be acceptable, I think. That would be transformative. If we were to, maybe not if I read the whole book, maybe if I were to go, here's a passage that I would like to discuss, and then here's another passage I would like to discuss. But if I'm recreating the entire thing, whole cloth, like that, yeah. It's okay for something that's in the public domain. But if it were, I know some of you are probably familiar with Stone Butch Blues, which is a book that it's like a historical fiction kind of thing based in certain types of material reality about being queer in the 20th century. But on the website, it says, like, this has been made available for free, but please don't reproduce it. So it would not be okay for me to do a book reading of Stone Butch Blues. If I were to do commentary, if I were to say read one chapter and then do like a book club type thing where we discuss the chapter and what happened in it, that would be okay. But not for me to just read you the book. Now, I will heavily consider just reading The Conquest of Bread and posting that on the channel. I would be willing to do that. Gotta get this bread. We've started doing elimination communication with the baby at 5 days old. They did manage to pee in their bucket. Okay. You're starting early. You're like, I don't want to deal with these diapers for more than 6 months. Delicious coffee. People love ASMR content. Also got a bunch of fabric for diaper inserts and alpaca yarn to make covers. Nice. Gotta get this bread. Finna get this bread. People say that The Conquest of Bread is like a really good intro book for communism and socialism. Uh, and some people also say that it's like kind of Anarchy 101, but I've realized that people get super fucking triggered about the word anarchy, so I have stopped using it as much. It's kind of funny to me that someone like Vosh calls himself a libertarian socialist, and when you're looking up like the definitions of anarchy, basically a libertarian socialist is the sneaky way of saying that you're an anarchist without using the word that everybody gets so upset about. I'm a libertarian socialist. Libertarian makes you sound conservative. Honestly sucks though, because there is no audiobook of Stone Butch Blues and there probably won't ever be. I guess I could hypothetically contact her partner, the writer. Oh my god, I can never remember their name. But the partner is still alive and maintains the website. So I could hypothetically contact them and be like, I would just have to post it without making money, I think. I would have to post it and not put ads on the content. Libertarians, conservative without all the religious BS. If you say so. I honestly don't know a lot about libertarians. Every time I've met someone who describes themselves as a libertarian and not like a libertarian socialist or some other modifier, I'm like, you are an insufferable person. And not even just politically, but just in general. I'm like, oh my god, I do not like you. Just not a fan of those people. 88 likes. Look at this. 78 people chilling, listening to me talking about the conquest of bread. Trying to get to 100 likes. Also, if you're enjoying the conversation, feel free to drop me a $5 gift donation. Those are always appreciated. If we get to the $100 goal today, I'll take off my hoodie and flex in a tank top. I'm wearing a tank top and I'll flex. Also, this is a hoodie that you can buy for $35 and it's very comfy and warm. And there's other merch at the website. Check it out. Check it out. I heart bread, true. I love bread too much. Too much bread. Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna go run to the restroom real quick, and I'm gonna take another Ritalin, and that'll make sure that my brain stays functional for the rest of the show. And probably when I get back, we'll cover at least one of these stories. We'll go ahead and cover... I'll let you decide. I'll let you vote when we get back on which story we're gonna cover, because I really only have majorly the 2 stories. Charlotte says, if we get to the $100 goal, I will take off everything but panties. If that incentivizes any of you, Charlotte, out here looking out for you. I mean, I will anyway, but still donate. Very funny. Okay, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Just gonna go to the restroom, wash my hands, take a pill, and we will get into the meat of it when I get back. All right? All right. I swear, don't go anywhere or I will be in your walls. I'll be behind you. Okay, my loves. Jump scare. I'm back now. Told you I wasn't going to be gone for long, and look, most of you stayed. Congrats. I will not be in your walls. Okay? Yeah, I'm who's been making all the noises in your house. I'm in the walls. I'm going scratching, just very light scratching on the inside of your drywall. I think the XY compass of left to right and libertarian to authoritarian are as distinct axes is more useful. Fair. My political map also includes a Z-axis, adding intensity of belief toward fascism versus anarchy. I kind of feel like the current XY setup kind of accounts for that, but I don't know. I don't know how useful exactly political compasses are, or any of those kind of things. They're fun. It's fun. I enjoy doing political compass tests for the purposes of content on occasion. I'm actually curious how it would go now, because I was pretty far left corner last time. I wonder if I would be even more far left corner this time. Curiouser and curiouser. Because I think, yeah, the last time I took a political compass test, I was like, yeah, I definitely am socialist or communist or something like that. But now I'm like, yeah, no, I'm an anarchist. That is where I have landed. States are bad, okay? Please don't scratch the drywall. It's load-bearing sheetrock. Just gentle scratches. Okay, I'm gonna let you all decide. Ooh, we're almost at 100 likes. Ooh, yay! Tasty. So 2 stories. We'll probably do one and then talk for a little while and then do the other one. Instead of usually what I do is I do like the segments back to back. So I'll let you decide. Are we going to talk about a 16-year-old trans girl being forced to wear boys' clothes because of a biological sex dress code? Or do we want to talk about Target? What do we want to do first? Vote 1 for school dress code, vote 2 for Target. 1 or 2? 1 or 2? No opinion? Stretch. Stretching is good for you. Oh boy. Can't wait for that Ritalin to kick in. Content idea. ASMR of you inside the walls. We've got 2 votes for Target, 1 vote for dress code. YouTube chat is doing all the votes right now. Like, okay, Target, dress code, Target, dress code, Target, dress code, Target. Another for Target. Are there any happy stories? What do you mean by that? The joys of living as an anarchist under capitalism. True. I need more chapstick. Okay, people seem more interested in Target right now. 99 likes. What kind of happy stories do people want me to talk about? Like, what flavor of happy stories? If there are happy stories, I don't know. It's easier to find stories where stuff sucks. TBH. I'm getting so close to having all the red out of my hair. How much would I have to cut off in order to get the rest of the red out of my hair? I would have to cut off about 5 or 6 inches of my hair in order to get rid of the rest of the red. I'm considering it. Just got to 100 likes. Yes. Now can we get to $100 in donos? That's the secret. Okay, y'all want to talk about Target. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up the article about Target. Target. Shout out to Mama Mephistopheles, who is not here today, for posting this in the Discord. It's fun. It's good to have happy stories that are actually happy and not something like, this kid's insurance wouldn't cover his life-saving surgery, so crowdfunding footed the bill. Always good to hear about legal wins. Well, let me do a quick check. Is there anything... 11th Circuit rules against trans exclusions, citing Biden's Title VII guidance. So we did have a win in the 11th Circuit recently. It's just hard for me to talk about appeals court wins. Because, like, okay, here's how it works. You have the state level laws getting passed, right? What's up, Hypno Amber? Welcome in. The state level laws getting passed, right? And then the state court says, no, you can't do that. And then they appeal the case, and it goes to this circuit court of appeals, which, you know, let's say you're trying to get a law passed in West Virginia, and the state court says, no, you can't do that. Well, then it goes to the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers West Virginia and a couple of other states. And the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals says, let's say, you know, no, you're required to allow trans girls to play with the girls, because otherwise that would be Title IX sex discrimination, right? And then that case is going to get appealed up to the Supreme Court. So it's kind of hard for me to talk about, 11th Circuit Court of Appeals win without also saying, but if this goes to the Supreme Court, we're probably fucked, you know? Like, it's hard for me to celebrate wins without also being like, yeah, but be careful because Project 2025 is still going to happen. Also, I love your name, The Pickle. What a great name. Reminds me of some socks I just got recently. Maybe a trans/queer joy highlight section. Like part of the stream, people share their little queer joys. Kind of like Feed the Dragon. Perhaps. I did see, you know, Ty Turner posted a video where he was going over, like, a trans mask bingo. So I think, honestly, it might be more beneficial to do just fun queer-related stuff as opposed to trying to do good news, if that makes any difference. Like, if that makes sense to y'all. Trying to do, like, just fun stuff instead of good news. Been loving my body lately. Girl, proud of you, Charlotte. Little queer joys. We have done segments like that before. Just kind of like, hey, what are some good things happening with you lately? Most of you here are trans or queer of some flavor. Good news, everyone. Ugh. Yawning. Alright, well, let's get ready to talk about Target. Target. Gay as Christmas and twice as merry. Pride is coming up soon. It's so exciting. It's still May, but we're talking about Pride today, all right? We're coming up on June. Pride is creeping up on us. There's going to be celebrations. There's going to be events. And many people are looking forward to, you know, being able to easily access some Pride-related merchandise. Or at least some of us appreciate being able to go to the store and, like, feel accepted in our communities because there's a Pride section at the store. Whether or not you intend to buy anything, you know, rainbow capitalism trying to trick you into spending your money on things that you don't want or need. Always fun. But Target has been at the center of these discussions over the last couple of years. Because Target, you know, as far as I can remember, they've been pretty far out there in terms of, you know, we're declaring that we're trans safe and queer safe, like bathrooms. I remember, you know, when the discussions about bathrooms were starting in like 2016, Target was saying, yo, you know, I'm going to, like, we're as a company going to support trans people using the bathroom that they identify with. You know, maybe not regardless of state law, but state laws hadn't really started to pick up a lot of speed yet. Like state laws preventing people from using the correct bathroom. So this is what I remember. Like, I remember Target being on it with trans rights. And they usually have, you know, pride displays in their store. They put up the signs with the rainbows on them and everything. You can buy a pillow in the shape of a rainbow, stuff like this. And last year, we covered that there were increasing, basically, terrorist activities toward targets, like bomb threats being called in, and people, like, some very mild destruction of property, where conservatives would film themselves knocking over signs and stomping on them that, you know, they were pro-pride signs in the stores. And there's been some difficulties figuring out, you know, what is the correct way to address this, I guess, internally within Target, to the point where this year we're seeing some announcements that Target is possibly not going to have pride stuff in their stores in June, or that they're scaling back. So this is an article from NPR. Target scales back on its LGBTQ plus merchandise ahead of Pride Month 2024. So I just want to make sure that you are understanding what this is. This is terrorism winning. If you do bomb threats, and then the institution that's having the bomb threats on them cows to those bomb threats, that's like, they don't even have to actually do anything. No one has to even actually put a bomb in the store. No one has to actually show up with a gun. Like, nobody has to actually do anything harmful. They can just say that they're going to do something harmful, and the company is like, oh, we're gonna dip. We're not gonna continue participating and supporting the queer community. They're targeting our kids. Yeah, classic. So let's get into this article by Jonathan Franklin. Let's see. Oh, Target says it will no longer sell its 2024 Pride Month collection in all of its stores, following last year's conservative backlash over the LGBTQ plus themed merchandise. The retail giant said in a press release last week that it plans to offer its collection of products to celebrate Pride Month, including adult clothing and home decor, during the month of June, both online and in, quote, select stores, depending on, quote, historical sales performance. So it may well be, if you live in a place where it's relatively liberal and the sales of these items are pretty high, then they might still have Target stuff, Target Pride stuff. But if you live in a conservative state, like I live in Kansas, and some parts of Kansas are pretty liberal and some parts are deeply conservative, maybe if you live in Kansas City, where things tend to be a little bit more liberal, your Target might have Pride stuff. But if you drive an hour south, you might be in somewhere that's more conservative, and if there's a Target there, they probably won't have this stuff, right? So they're not cutting back on it completely. They're not saying nationwide, we're gonna not do this. But yeah, they're basically saying, if we suspect that these items in our stores are going to contribute to some kind of negative press or something, you know, is a conservative gonna go in to a deeply liberal place in order to get pissed off about the pride stuff in that liberal place? Ostensibly not, probably not. We'll see. In a statement to NPR, a spokesperson said, wow, a spokesperson for the retailer said it is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community not only during Pride Month, but year-round. But what about the kids who live in those deeply conservative parts of the country? How do you think those people are going to feel about the fact that this corporation that has ostensibly supported trans rights and queer rights is now, you know, you can't go to that Target. If you're a queer kid who lives in Tennessee or Alabama or something, You can't go to Target and get like a lamp that has a pride symbol of some kind on it, or like a pillow. What does that tell people in those deeply conservative areas about their acceptance in that area? What does it tell them about their future in that area, or about how valued they are in that area? It's not a good message. Still not a good message. Quote, given these volatile circumstances, we are making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior. So yeah, all you have to do is be confrontational, and this like multi-billion-dollar corporation will simply roll over and show you its belly. At the time of this statement, when asked which items were removed and whether security was being increased at its stores, Target did not respond to NPR's inquiry. I think this is really worth mentioning because in situations where folks are threatening violence on a business, let's just keep it within that. Why is this multinational company, like this multi-billion-dollar company, why are they not simply increasing security? Why are you going to remove these products from your stores rather than simply hiring a couple of security guards, or double checking that all of your cameras are working, or installing extra cameras, right? I think that there's been an excuse in the past, last year in particular, where they were like, oh, we want to make sure our employees are safe. Well, okay, stop like forcing your regular red shirt employees to deal with erratic, potentially violent people, and just hire private security. Give them a gun, give them the authority to remove people from the premises, give them the authority to permanently ban people from the premises. You don't just get to threaten people. You don't just get to, knock down signs and destroy property and accuse a company of grooming children by simply providing rainbow-themed stuff. And it's worth mentioning also that in this statement, it says like, oh, we're going to allow the adult stuff. It's like adult clothing and home goods they're going to continue to allow. So they are, it seems like based on these statements, they're going to remove, including adult clothing and home decor. That's not a direct quote, but it seems like there had previously been, some like baby onesies that had rainbows on them and stuff like that, and that they're not going to be carrying those things anymore, like because of these accusations of grooming somehow, which is completely mangled. Grooming is actually, getting to know a child and their family and convincing them that you are a safe person, and then tricking them into like being in some kind of relationship that isn't appropriate, right? Like typically an adult coercing a younger person into a relationship of some kind. That's what grooming is, not just generally saying that it's like okay to be gay. Let's see here. News of Target's scaled-back efforts for Pride Month comes as the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security issued a warning on Friday that foreign terrorist organizations may potentially target LGBTQ+ events and venues during Pride Month in June. Is that from this year? Hold up. So they did this last year. The Department of Homeland Security issued a warning last year right before Pride. So it's the same thing happening this year. IC3.gov, I'm assuming that this is official, going, okay, the FBI and DHS are issuing this public service announcement to provide, sorry if it's really small for you, let me make it bigger, to provide awareness to the public of foreign terrorist organizations or their supporters potentially targeting LGBTQIA+ related events and venues. Foreign terrorist organizations or supporters may seek to exploit increased gatherings associated with the upcoming June 2024 Pride Month. So I feel like this is the even bigger piece of news on top. Like, not only is Target saying, okay, you know, because of things that have happened in our stores previously, we're not going to continue to serve this population of people, but the Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have said, we are expecting more terrorism this month. FTO efforts to commit or inspire violence against holiday celebrations, including Pride celebrations, are compounded by the current heightened threat environment in the United States and other Western countries. These organizations have previously promoted anti-queer rhetoric and targeted queer-related events or venues. In February 23, English language ISIS messaging featured an article focused on anti-queer rhetoric. In June, so 12 June 24 marks the 8th anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting. Man, yeah, I forgot that was during Pride Month. That was fucked. In June 23, 3 alleged ISIS sympathizers were arrested for attempting to attack a pride parade in Vienna, Austria, using knives and a vehicle as part of the attack. Here's some possible indicators of potential threat activity. Recommendations. So basically, the FBI, I'll read your donations in a second. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are saying, we are expecting a risk of increased terrorist activity, which is what I have been calling this for a while, like foreign terrorist organizations. And they keep saying, you know, ISIS, ISIS this, ISIS that, as though we're not dealing with domestic terrorism. Exactly. Thank you, Jenny. This is domestic terrorism. This is white nationalists. It's the same people who are showing up at protests like, you know, they're anti-mask and they're anti-Black Lives Matter and they're anti-Palestine and they're anti-queer. Like it's the same people showing up to all these different places. And like, okay, yeah, I acknowledge that ISIS and ISIS sympathizers might be part of this problem, particularly on the national level, or on the international level. But I feel like it's an egregious oversight to not mention that this is primarily, we live in the United States, primarily our problem is domestic terrorism. It's American citizens threatening other American citizens and using terror to restrict their rights. Real quick, hold on, real quick. So I just want to point out that this is illegal under 42 U.S. Code 1985, conspiracy to interfere with civil rights. So if you are attempting to prevent by force, intimidation, or threat any person from holding office, like if you are attempting to deprive persons of rights or privileges, if you're trying to deprive, either directly or indirectly, any person or class of persons of the equal protection of the laws, or of equal privileges and immunities under the laws, or for the purpose of preventing or hindering the constituted authorities of any state or territory from giving or securing to all persons within state or territory the equal protection of the laws, if you are trying to conspire to prevent by force, intimidation, or threat any citizen from voting, this is not legal. If you're using terror to prevent people from exercising their civil rights, that is not permitted. But, like, we're just kind of cowing to this, you know? Like, we're pretty consistently not pursuing white supremacists. Proud Boys keep showing up to these libraries threatening people, or like at least standing around menacingly saying, you know, you're not going to do this around our kids. And it's like, first of all, which of these kids are yours? And like, second of all, it's not legal what you're doing. The KKK is illegal under this purview because the KKK used to show up in their hoods and basically try to intimidate Black people from participating in public life, whether that's voting, whether that's getting married, whether that's being a teacher. Like, this is egregious, not cool thing to do. And like, U.S. Code 1985 is slightly different to the First Amendment, because the First Amendment is like, the government has to protect your right to do these things. The government is not allowed to prevent you from gathering or freedom of speech or protesting or freedom of expression. But it is also illegal for citizens to do these things, to intimidate or threaten people, to send bomb threats, you know? Like, what? So again, why is the response to this to say, yeah, we're gonna cow to that and not host like rainbow themed stuff during June? Why aren't the police available? You know, like I went for a drive recently, and there were a bunch of cops like just posted up at random places catching people in speed traps. Like, why don't you hire some of those useless fucking people to stand around in your Target, and they'll actually be doing something worthwhile by protecting the premises? What a concept. So basically, not only is like we have this main story tonight of Target, but we also need to be aware that there's a pretty significant possibility that we'll see broader terror activity in the United States and abroad. But like primarily I'm focused on, you know, terrorism in this country. You know, 8 years anniversary since the Pulse shooting. We had the Club Q massacre a couple years ago, you know. Oh, of course, yeah, I know it's because the police are on the side of bigotry. I'm just saying that they, you know, you could ostensibly have the veneer of security, the impression of increased security. And at the very minimum, you know, the police don't have to disagree with the bigotry in order to enforce trespassing laws. Because if an employee asks you to leave, there should be a threat of force forcing you to leave if you're being disruptive and trying to use intimidation tactics to scare Target employees. Yeah, true. Traffic tickets make money, protecting and serving does not. I mean, yeah, and like, let's not even talk about the fact that rainbows are supposed to be a gift from God. Like, when I was in Sunday school as a young lad, rainbows were a symbol of like the end of the flood. Rainbows are supposed to be a symbol of God, and like children love rainbows. Children just absolutely go apeshit over rainbows for some reason, even outside the context of having anything to do with God. And frankly, I think Target should be able to sell onesies that say things like, I love my two mommies. What is the problem with that? How is it grooming? I guess it's grooming for two lesbians to have a kid, you know? So as we enter Pride Month, you know, be on the lookout. There's a petition going around saying, hey, Target, can you please still host Pride stuff in your stores? And you can sign if you want to. I don't know that that's going to make any difference. But yeah. Just be aware if you shop at Target or if you go to any other Pride-related event during the month of June that there is a good chance that there will be terrorist activity and that you will have to... First of all, you should be wearing a respirator in public anyway, so you may have to cover your face to hide your identity. You might need to make sure that your children are not going to places where you suspect... Like, and that's the thing that sucks, is, you know, because the police are on the side of the Proud Boys, repeatedly we've seen, you know, white supremacist violence, anti-queer violence, and the police just kind of letting it happen. It's unfortunate that, yeah, part of the calculation that you have to make is, will I be safe going here? This is terrorism in action. Terrorism wins, to an extent, when we stop gathering and doing things because we're afraid these things will happen. But at the same time, I am not going to expect marginalized individuals to go to places where they think they might be unsafe. Like, I would not go to a gay bar, probably because I suspect that there's a chance that there could be a shooting there. It's happened twice in the last 10 years where there has been a mass shooting at a gay bar. No children there. No children gonna be there. You can't justify it even if there were gonna be children there, but I'm just saying, like, the excuse that they keep making is, oh, we need to protect our children. Like, okay, well, why are you killing people who are 21 and up then? So, yep, maintain your situational awareness. Keep your eyes up. Keep them peeled. Stay safe out there, y'all. Donations. Thank you so much, y'all. Jackie gave another $8 dono saying, remember that Target employee totally owning Ethan Schmidt loser? She's amazing. I don't know if I remember that in particular, but I do remember Ethan Schmidt and the fact that he's a loser. Thank you, Kitty Tick, for 2 gifted Tier 1 subs, saying, just wanted to send a little something. Maternity leave money finally arrived. At least in Oregon, you can both choose not to have a baby and receive job protection. Cool, yeah, because I know that generally the job protection does not extend to the non-gestational parent. So that's cool, and thank you. That's another $18 added to the goal, which brings us up to $33. I can do math. Appreciate y'all. And now I'm going to add this to my stream notes, and that's going to be a good little segment for the show today. A little seggy seg. What is today? 5/19/2024? Target, FBI, DHS. No. Let me do a copy pasta. Okay, thank you. Okay. We did it. Ugh. Living in an open carry state, I will be carrying protection. Yeah. I'm not gonna, like, encourage anyone to get a gun if you don't already have one and if you don't feel confident using it. But, you know, I carry pepper spray, and I'm prepared to use it. I wasn't expecting that DHS part. Like, I guess it makes sense because it happened last year, but... Nap time, Robot has left the chat. Good night, Robot, enjoy. Gotta drink more water. We're hitting that 2-hour mark in the show. We might only go like 3 hours today. And then I want to chill a bit this afternoon because I've had a rough week, y'all. It's been a rough week. Doing my best. Trying to make it work. But man, these times are hard. Coin Silver says, go homebrew, make your own dyes, make your own flags without commercialization. That's probably fair. You know, before rainbow capitalism became a thing, it was the case that, you know, we would have to make our own pride gear. We would have to... I mean, we would make our own binders. We would make our own packers. Like, the fact that a bunch of primarily cisgender-owned companies are profiting off of, like, the needs of queer people and trans people, it's actually not great. I don't typically buy stuff that's just rainbows because it has rainbows on it, you know? But, yeah. It's nice. You know, it is an indicator of more acceptance in society when you're seeing a pride display at the store. And yes, it feels performative because it is, because obviously when they get the tiniest bit of pushback, their support ends. But there is something to be said for all the little kids and the teenagers out there the young adults who know that they're queer, know that they're trans, and want to believe that there is a place for them in this world. Like we need queer kids to believe that there's a place for them in this world because that's suicide prevention, you know? Okay. Now it's in my notes. And that'll be the end of the commentary on that one probably. Yeah, switching immediately to posting pussy and dicks in the chat. 87 viewers, 116 likes. Appreciate y'all so much. I did go to Pride in London once. It was just a parade of buses with bank names on. I don't go to Pride because I can't be outside in June for that long without having the option to go into the air conditioning. I have a health problem that prevents me from regulating my body temperature appropriately, so I gotta be real careful. I do have a barbecue that I go to in June, but it's like at someone's house where there's a bunch of trees. No. Him, Jack. That's so mean. They said, do math. Do math now. Stream tax. Thank you. With your $37.41 dono. That's so mean. 37.41 plus 33. So 70.41. I'm gonna double check that with my calculator app. Hold up. Hold up. Wait. I did it. $70.41. Cool. Thank you. And also, fuck you. Both of those things. $70.41. I did the math. I did it. I did it all without a calculator. Thank you. I remember my town did Pride in September or October because it was too damn hot out. Even that is... It's usually pretty hot still in September. Well, I live in Kansas, and summer season is getting longer and longer. Like, it's May right now, and we're seeing 90-degree weather in May, and that 90-degree weather extends well into September now. It used to be that by the time we got to October, it was like cold and wet and rainy. But yeah, those first couple weeks of October, still in the 80s. Like, summer is getting longer and longer, and it fucking sucks. It's so stressful. Ugh. And the April showers bring May flowers thing. Like, we've had our thunderstorms and stuff in May this year instead of in April. Like, April was very, very dry. But then we've been having a lot of storms. Looks like it's supposed to storm tonight and over the next couple of days. Which is cool because my garden likes the water, and that means that I don't have to go water my garden. I'm all for the idea of Spooky Pride Month. I'm of the opinion that October is Pride Month 2 Electric Boogaloo. Pride Month 2 Electric Boogaloo. October. It was still hot in October in Georgia, having relocated to Kansas. You can blame me. Took a few years, but the heat followed me. God damn it, Andy. It's your fault. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been... Listen, we were getting 70-degree days in February this year. Like, this winter was ridiculously warm, even compared to previous years and expected projections. So, yay, climate change! I recently told someone that I was probably going to be moving to Oregon or something, and they were like, what's in Oregon? And I was like, the ability for me to use public bathrooms legally and safely, and also, like, no climate change. Today is stormy-ish here. Way better than melting a couple days ago. Yeah. Hey, Halloween was my favorite pride time anyways. I was cross-dressing for 2 decades on Halloween before I figured out I was trans. Egg, 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 egg. Cross-dressing on Halloween. It's the gateway drug. Haven't used my snowblower since 2013. Whew. It did snow this year in Kansas, but it was not cold enough for long enough, and I'm expecting that this tick season is gonna be a bitch. Like, oh man, there's gonna be so many ticks and mosquitoes. What's in Oregon? Rain and queer people. True. Queer folks, stable climate, not having to worry about using public restrooms. Yeah, that's like basically the whole thing. Yawn. Yawn. It hasn't rained for a full 6 days in Oregon right now, at least in my neck of the woods. You know, I feel like if you could go 1 week without rain, that would probably be good. This is one of the things that sucks about getting older, is that I have so much greater appreciation for the place that I'm from. And part of that includes, like, I have a much greater appreciation for sunny weather than I used to. And yeah, that is going to be the one kind of sad thing about moving up north, is just having more rain, which I do love, but less sun, which is a bummer. Oregon's had really hot summers the last couple of years. No, like, I guess I shouldn't say, like, there's no climate change happening in Oregon, right? Because there is, but it is going to be less extreme in, like, Washington and Oregon than it will be across most of the rest of the US. Yeah. If you want to live in, like, North Dakota, it's also going to be, it'll get warmer up there and the winters will be milder, but, you know. Texas is effed. Texas is effed in the A. Florida, effed in the A. Arizona, effed in the A. Well, yeah, it's pretty bad. Anywhere south, like Kansas, is fucking humid. That's one of the big problems with it being hot here, is, like, it's hot and it's humid. That's where the problems come in. You need, like, lower wet bulb temperatures in order to be outside. So, good grief. I can't believe it's only been 2 hours. This stream is going by real slow for me. Oh, jeez. LGBTQ rights or climate stability? I mean, you don't have to choose between the two. Like I say, if you want to move to Seattle, you'll have climate stability and LGBTQ rights. Yawn. Yawn, 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 yawn. What's a meandering topic we can talk about before we get into the next segment? Because I feel like I need to pad the time. I feel like we should go for at least 3 hours today. I don't care if we don't go until 4. Thank you, Zypation, with a tier 3 sub, saying, thanks for having a great channel. Now you can flex. Greetings from your Oregon fandom. Thank you. I don't actually know. I think a tier 3 sub is like 20 bucks. Or is it more than that? Or did you get more than 1 month? I don't know. I'm gonna believe you that you donated $30. I'm just gonna take your word for it. Because it doesn't actually show me. It just says tier 3 sub until I go into my PayPal and look at it. We've got a dry heat here in Colorado. It gets hot but no humidity. Yeah. Colorado's so nice. Ooh, 3 months. Ooh, okay, 54 bucks. Nice. All right. We will flex. It's a good time for flexing, okay? I'm not really seeing results yet from switching back to my bulk at the gym, but we are still working ever steadily toward our goals. We're shaving our head to stay nice and cool during the summer and flexing. Like, yeah, on my 48, that's fine. It's still over the amount. thing I'm most excited about. Like, biceps, big bicep building, shoulders gonna get bigger. Like, gonna keep working all these different muscles. And then the lats, as my back just gets progressively wider and wider. I've also been watching this guy he's a pole dancer and an archer, and it's like insane to me how much core he has. And I'm so jealous. I have no desire to do pole dancing, but I want to have like the abs to be able to do pole dancing. You know? So I'm like, ugh, if I get to the end of my workout and I don't want to do abs, like, too bad. You got to do core work. I'm finding Minnesota comfortable so far. Interesting weather sometimes, but not quite as spicy as Iowa or Oklahoma. Good trans healthcare here too. I am not a fan of the winters in Minnesota, and also I know a lot of people there that I have no interest in running into. So, couple of different reasons why I don't want to live in Minnesota, but I can respect it as a good choice. They're going to have increased agricultural output and yield over the next 20 years, so Bagel Prince, as a fellow archer. Ooh. I love seeing more archers in the chat. Eventually, I will have more defined abs, hopefully. That's a goal that I have, is like, I just want to be more muscular all over. Bigger legs, bigger glutes, bigger arms. I moved from Seattle to Colorado, and I miss the Seattle weather so much. My autistic ass is not into the whole super bright, dry, and sunny and windy thing. Yeah, the wind. I hate wind. And there's so much more wind in Kansas than there used to be. It's so obnoxious. Yes, I don't have my bow strung right now. And also this space that I'm in is so tiny, but like I, I like how my forearms look when I'm pulling back the string. That's another thing. Get the forearm strength. Hot. Sexy. The purple family. True. Trying to get back into swim shape, and it's brutal this time, but wah, also can't wait for more time to go hiking. I just, the ticks make hiking so difficult. Has anyone made anything cool lately? Math is sweet wants to know. What's the tattoo of? It's a skull with flowers. There's a rose and then a rose bud kind of popping out of the skull. I have 5 tattoos. I have this tattoo, I have this tattoo, I have this tattoo, I have a tattoo on my back that I would actually like to get covered up, and I have a new tattoo on my thigh, which, if you want to throw me $1 on Patreon, you can see my new tattoo on my thigh, which I'm going to have filled out next month. And then I probably won't get another tattoo for a while, because it fucking really sucked getting just the outline done recently. Yeah, the muscle mass. We have goals. Upside down on the pole, call that Common Core. Common Core. Okay, let me see. Can I do math? 118.41? There we go. We blew out the dono goal today. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. Fed the dragon. Yeah, we'll do feed the dragon at the end. So maybe we'll spend another couple of minutes chilling like villains and then get into the dress code discrimination thing. And then we'll do feed the dragon, and that'll be it for today. Kitty Stick says, mostly I've been making baby stuff. I love making baby toys like odd-shaped blocks dyed with Kool-Aid. Nice. Whoa. I have not worked on this in, like, weeks now because I kind of started to get really, discouraged at how many mistakes I was making. Where's my crochet hook? Where's the hook? That's not good. I need to know where my hook is. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. But I have this mandala that I've been working on for a while that is huge, absurdly giant. And I lost steam working on it, and I gotta get back around to it at some point to finish. It's just gonna take forever. Probably the biggest crochet project I've ever taken on, and it is, it'll be really rewarding when it's finished, I will say. I just gotta figure out what the fuck I did with the crochet hook. My 3.75 crochet hook that I was using. Anyway. Excuse me. The wind hurts my neuropathy. Ugh, that's rough. I'm sorry. Call in the next 30 minutes for that bonus bow flex. Yeah, if we get to $200, I'll do the goddamn bow thing. Which we probably won't, but that's okay. I'm not too worried. I'm very appreciative of everybody hanging out, donating, hitting the like button, chatting. It's all good. I'm surprised that I'm not cold after taking off my hoodie, though. That happens sometimes. Also, my throat is a little bit sore. It's not as bad as it is when my allergies are really kicking my ass, but I did have, like... I told you I had a hard week. We cried some this week, and it really, like, my throat was, like, swollen. $120 likes on the video. Dang, y'all. Dang. What are everybody's plans this week? What is everybody doing this week? I'm gonna try to finalize some details around potentially being one of the hosts on the Transatlantic Call-In Show for the Line. I'm gonna go to Hot Topic tomorrow. I haven't been to a Hot Topic in a really long time. So I'm gonna go to a Hot Topic tomorrow. And... I guess the rest of the week is gonna be a pretty normal week. It's gonna be a pretty chill week for me. I hope, at least. I need a break. It's like, it's tough because it's like I got problems to solve, and it is painful for me to leave my problems unsolved, but also like I need to work on shit. It's a sick combo. I'm gonna be game modding and easing back into working out. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Working out is so good for you. What happened in last week's Takis, Charlotte? Lots of cleaning and building stuff for this year. Got a lot to finish before my wife goes back to work in 2 months, and it'll be me and the baby full time. Yeah, because you will not have as much time to do shit if you're like the primary person for the baby. Work. I travel to San Diego soon. Nice. I've never been to San Diego. That sounds like a good time, though. I bet it'll be nice and warm there. Someone I know just got her orchiectomy. That's very exciting. I'm getting Novavax this afternoon. Hell yeah, I'm excited for you getting Novavax vaccine. Remember, everybody, they are canceling the Bridge Access program before the new vaccine is available in September. So you might want to, if you're uninsured or underinsured, get a booster vaccine sometime between now and the end of August if you live in the United States. Need things to be self-sustaining if I'm gonna be with baby full-time. Yeah, for sure. Like, I just need everything to be operating on its own. put some stuff on a timer. I'm glad you'll be bringing more trans masc and non-binary rep to that show. Yeah, I think it's good. And also, you know, I feel like I've honed my rhetoric quite nicely. That COVID's over. According to who? Joanne? You having the same name as J.K. Rowling right now and saying COVID's over is a very ill omen. What do you mean COVID's over? Do you mean the government said that it's over? Have you been checking case numbers? Have you spoken to anyone who works in a hospital? Have you checked the numbers of how many people have been disabled in such a way that they can no longer work or no longer work full time? You know, have you been looking at any of the case numbers or like wastewater counts? COVID's over is propaganda. Like the idea that COVID is over is propaganda meant to get you back out there going to concerts and spending your money on things. But it's going to destroy your health and it's going to destroy the economy. So maybe don't swallow propaganda hook, line, and sinker. On Takis last week, I donated, but then included my second part of the message in a, quote, highlighted chat because I didn't know the highlighted part wasn't going to be read out loud. Oh, no. Lots of people I know just started masking more again, which tells me they know someone who had it recently. Yeah. I feel like I've been seeing more masks in healthcare environments, like that they had slacked on it for a while and now they're starting to pick up on it again. And it's like, oh, you mean now that we're getting close to entering year 5 of this thing, you're finally starting to see that there's going to be permanent long-term effects of this? As though we haven't known since 2020 that COVID damages your immune system and is oncogenic and can permanently damage your heart and lungs and make it so that you can't get out of bed anymore. Like, yeah, we've known since 2020 that it is a devastating illness. Me and my household caught it again for the 4th time about 2 months back. I'm sorry to hear that, Snugan. Sometimes it happens no matter how many precautions you're taking, and it's, you know, with so many people out there just letting it rip and thinking that it's over or not caring about it, that the fact that people will be sick and have symptoms and not bother to test and then get you sick because they don't care about the, like, domino effect of their actions. Yeah, I mean, one-way masking only does so much. You can wear an N95 everywhere you go, and, like, I wear an N95 everywhere I go, and I don't get sick. But, you know, it happens. Slips through the cracks sometimes. When I do the Renaissance Festival, I'm usually not wearing an N95 because I'm outdoors and I still got sick last year. Like, I'm pretty sure that I caught the Eris strain of COVID. The main thing I hate hearing is, oh, that shows the vaccine doesn't work. Like, it would have been so much worse without the vaccine. Yeah, there's a lot of things that people don't know. Like, when, like, you'd get the vaccine and that prevents you from getting seriously ill. It's not a magical ward that prevents you from catching it in the first place. And even if you're vaccinated and even if you have a really mild case, you can still end up with permanent heart scarring because COVID uses all of your cells to replicate itself. It infects your entire body, as opposed to, like, the flu is generally a respiratory virus. It only impacts your lungs. But COVID will set up shop in your brain and in your heart and in your bowels and, you know, even in your bones. Like, it's crazy. And then, yeah, the thing too is, like, why would you say, oh, the vaccine, oh, this shows the vaccine doesn't work, as opposed to thinking, oh, this virus is so dangerous that it can circumvent my vaccine status. That there are so many different variants of it that even if you've caught COVID in the last month, you can catch it again. Light Wolf says, I had the Omicron variant. It made my immune system worse, or sorry, more aggressive to me. So autoimmune problems, and it made my POTS worse. Dysautonomia also made food gross for months. I've never had any taste issues, which I'm just gonna hope like I got very, very little brain impact from it. But like if a COVID infection leaves you unable to taste or smell, or it changes your taste or smell, that's brain damage, babes. That's not like it didn't like impact your tongue, and it didn't impact your nose. It impacted your brain. That's brain damage. Have any of you noticed how much crazier drivers are? Anybody out there who drives a car and is more and more frequently like, what the fuck is this person doing? And I've been driving for 15 years, so it's not like I'm just, you know, a new driver experiencing this for the first time. Like, no, people are way more erratic now. I do also kind of find it amusing when people are like telling me that COVID is over. And I'm like, oh, I have like a ton of facts and data to back me up on this. And I've read this happening on Reddit as well. I was trying to find out if there are any dentists who are like COVID observant still. Cause I would like, I need to probably get my teeth cleaned, and I probably need to like address some cavities. I have a couple of teeth that I would like to get removed because my wisdom teeth are coming in all fucked up. And on a post on like a COVID aware subreddit, there was a person who was like, I would like to find a dentist who still follows COVID precautions. And there were people in there who were like, it's not a big deal. And they just say it's not a big deal. And the person who originally posted was like, I would like to be convinced that it's not a big deal. And they were even saying, you know, I don't expect you to provide all the evidence, but if you believe that COVID isn't a big deal, I would like to know what evidence convinced you that it's not harmful. Because all of the evidence that I've seen is that it is permanently harming a lot of people. You know, people used to say, oh, children aren't being impacted by it, but tons of children have been pulled out of school because they can't perform at school anymore. Just in academics. This is an environment where you go sit down all day and you learn, and that's exhausting for children now in a way that it didn't used to be. And they can't think straight, and they have neuropathy in their legs and can't walk because they're in so much pain, and parents are having to quit their jobs in order to homeschool their kids. Like, what do you mean fuck the data, what's in your heart is all that matters? You're an actual psycho, I think. Fuck the data. What do you mean fuck the data? Like, so you think that 4 million adults out of work is like doesn't matter? Oh, it's in your heart. My heart says, do you think COVID gives a shit what's in your heart? Do you think a virus whose only purpose is to destroy your cells in the purpose of replicating itself cares about your feelings? This is you just literally said, my feelings matter more than the facts. And I'm probably going to block you from the chat, but you know, I'm trying to address this in a calm manner. Acting like a statistician will stress you out. Do you think that being unable to work anymore would not stress you out? Fucking dumbass. Like, sorry, I'm not nice to COVID minimizers or COVID deniers. I'm already disabled from a virus I had many years ago. They mean COVID is in our hearts. Fucking true. But yeah, like if you're already disabled, like I already have POTS, and like COVID can give you POTS. So like I have a disability that prevents me from holding a regular job. And I'm telling you that if you don't want to be unable to work anymore, you should probably care a little bit about it. And you should maybe like actually educate yourself instead of being like, I've decided that my feelings on the matter are more important. Jenny Wren says, even having had a virus a couple years ago, I have been way more fucked up by COVID. Yeah. Too left for the far right, too right for you people. I mean, yeah, if you want to like reduce it down to far left, far right, instead of like, I'm following the data, then, you know, I mean, I think that you are politically motivated right now. I'm not politically motivated. COVID is not a right left issue. It's just objective scientific fact. It's objective scientific fact that, yeah, there are people who like, they need beta blockers. They need new medicine that they were never on before. Like, it's so weird that you would reduce this down to a political issue, left versus right. It's not about left versus right. Like, what is wrong with you? Saying like, oh, it matters what's in your heart. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I understand that you want to go to restaurants and, you know, play master to a slave. I get it. And you want to go to concerts and huff everybody's plague air. And, you know, you want to reduce your health and ability and then recalibrate to your new normal. Because here's the thing, most people with long COVID, and by the way, up to 20% of COVID infections can result in long COVID. So, you know, if you were to catch COVID 5 times a year, you're pretty much guaranteed to have long COVID, right? So most people who get long COVID do not actually recover. They only get used to their new baseline. When you ask them, they're like, oh, you know, I'm doing okay. But then when you actually delve into their symptoms, it's like they're not actually better. They've just gotten used to being less able to function than they were able to. So yeah, if you want to be less and less functional over the course of your life, cool. Hey, she says, hey to everyone in the chat. Listening to people like this is why you get brainwashed. It's really funny that you say that because, again, I'm following the data, the actual, factual, proven, like, actual data, and you are going with the feels over reals argument that COVID doesn't matter anymore, or like COVID isn't actually harming people. Like, do you actually think that COVID is not harming people? Or do you just want to pretend like it isn't because it's scary to, like, you are a failure of evolution, Joanne. You're a failure of evolution because the species that survives is a species that adapts. And the reality is that COVID is here to stay because we refuse to try to rein it in because of people like you. So instead, we're just like letting it rip and failing to adapt to the reality. Like failing to adapt to the fact that the air is not safe to breathe. I do miss concerts, though that's too much money right now, let alone being unhealthy. I have gone to one concert since the start of COVID because masks were required and COVID vaccine status or a proof of a negative test was required. I know that you don't care about facts, Joanne, and I am a skeptic. I care about facts and data. And you're also kind of a piece of shit, if I'm being completely honest. Like the fact that you're sitting here telling me that I'm brainwashing. I dare you to live debate me sometime. Why? You're going to argue from your feelings, and I'm going to bring a bunch of data, and I'm going to obliterate you, and it's going to be a huge waste of time, except that it'll be hilarious to watch you fail miserably. Are you going to bring debate? Are you going to bring some actual statistics to the table? Or are you just going to say, well, it's what's in my heart. I've decided that COVID is not a big deal anymore. Dumbass. You're just dumb. I will block her. I'm just having fun with her for now, okay? Sometimes we like to have fun with dumbasses in the YouTube. I got a channel on Rumble. She's a right-winger. She said, I'm not a right-winger. I'm not a left-winger. I'm too right for the left. I'm too left for the right. But you have a channel on Rumble? You're a right-winger. Like, you're a trans pick-me right-winger. Congratulations. What a dumbass. Hypno Amber says, my friend works in public health, and yes, COVID is still a problem, especially for people who are high risk. And yeah, every time you catch COVID, you become higher risk. You become immunocompromised. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe, honestly, Hunty, the facts don't care about your feelings. Is this a Rose Millette alt? I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I forgot about her existence until a couple days ago. I don't know you. I only know what you've said in this chat, and what you've said in this chat is that you're a dumb person who doesn't care about the facts, so... I don't know. Maybe you should be less dumb, and then I would not think that about you. It's the virulent virus in my hearts that matters. Listen. Occasionally we need to have a little fun making fun of people. Katie Tick says, my mom would die if she catches COVID even once. It's a miracle my dad is a nurse who has managed to keep her safe for 2.5 years during the pandemic until he retired. This person is a cunt. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how you can come to a conversation saying, I don't care about facts, you're brainwashed, I care about my feelings, and then think that you're gonna stand up to me in a debate. Like, you are not worth my time, except to clown on you as a chatter because you're a dumbass. People who say I'm in the sane middle and then upload to Rumble, honey, you're a right-winger. Like, you are perpetuating a right-wing argument right now. Unfortunately, like, COVID has been politicized, and one of the things that kind of soothes my soul about it a little bit is that there will be fewer and fewer dumb fuck conservatives because y'all are gonna kill each other and yourselves. Cut a liberal and a fascist bleeds, Joanne. You're not a smart person. You're deeply invested in an ideology that, and like, to be clear, liberals are also right-wing at this point in our society. Like, liberals perpetuate right-wing ideologies. So like saying, ooh, I'm a liberal as a defense is not much of a defense. Okay. Yeah, when the next pandemic hits, they're going to refuse to take any precautions. I have already seen people saying that, damn girl. Like, people are like going out there and buying raw milk because they want to catch bird flu in order to like build up immunity or something. When the bird flu has like between 20 and 50% mortality rate, like, you catch it and you die. Like, and a lot of these people are like, I refuse to, you know, prevent my children from going to school. I refuse to stop going to restaurants. Like, okay, then die. Because you will. And then I will not have to deal with you anymore. Like, it's like, it's only worth arguing with you because it's funny to me. But, you know, if you keep going the way that you're going, you will probably become so disabled that you can't even type on your phone. You'll become so disabled that looking at the light on your phone gives you a headache so bad that you can't eat for the rest of the day. Or you'll just die, and it'll be great. Won't have to deal with you anymore. Seriously, like, even without COVID and even without bird flu, the current climate projections show that by the year 2100, there will only be 2 billion people on this planet, and you're one of them who's gonna die. Sorry, not sorry. YouTube chat is really enjoying clowning on this person too, and like typically, again, we don't let, typically we don't let bad vibes stick around in the chat, but I'll let you all have your fun for a little while. It's fun occasionally. As they say, I hope you attain natural obsolescence. Yeah. Evolution is gonna take its direction. It's gonna be good. People who refuse to admit we've saddled the human race with a permanent non-seasonal illness with a high morphology rate by not managing to kill it with lockdowns. We are now just waiting for the strain equivalent to H5N1 influenza to evolve. People are insane these days. Yeah. It's like pox parties, but worse because they all drink Brondo from Idiocracy. Yeah. Joanne, you're embarrassing yourself, babe. You could just see yourself out. You could just say, I get it, I'm a dumbass. Accusing people of doxing you because they're making fun of the fact that your name is the same as that of J.K. Rowling. Are you live streaming right now and you're typing in my chat? Or what are you doing? I mean, thanks for boosting the message of my channel. Unfortunately, the people who spread these diseases like to spread it to sensible people too. If they could stick to their own bubble and not infect the rest of us, I'd be less concerned. Right. Like, the problem is that these people are like, they'll be actively sick. They will pretend like they're not sick. They'll say, oh, it's just allergies, even in fucking December. And then they'll cough on you and sneeze on you and get you sick. Some friends of mine who have been really vigilant about not catching COVID, one of their parents died and they went to the funeral, and at their parents' house, like it was the mom who died, they were at the house that the dad owns, and one of the brothers came by and was like, oh, whatever, I just have allergies, it's fine. And then my two friends who have been vigilant about COVID got sick because people are like, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal. I don't have COVID. I didn't bother testing, but I'm just gonna say that I don't have COVID. And then, yeah, got my friends sick. I go to the gym and I'm wearing an N95 and no one else is wearing an N95 and people are just like sneezing and coughing and constantly clearing their throats. And it's like, wow, we've learned nothing. And I noticed that people also don't really wipe down equipment after they're done. At my previous gym, twice in 1 week, I saw two different men sneeze directly into their hands and then go back to touching the equipment that they were working on. Like, wow. This person spends their Twitter time reposting Q and Trump nostalgia. Really? Do you like Trump, Joanne? And you like QAnon? I've never seen Lux angry like they are right now. I've actually been angrier during this show. I was pretty spicy on Wednesday last week. There wasn't anybody in the chat being stupid, so I didn't have anyone to direct it toward. But, yeah, so Joanne in the chat is delusional. Like, might actually need to be committed kind of delusional. I've already made my money for today's stream. Like, I have one more segment that I'm gonna record, and I will probably block this person before we start the next segment. But like, I have time to kill, you know? I'm just having fun. This is such a cold, wonderful, calculated fury. Listen, I think I'm completely within my rights. This is how it is on when I go on Transatlantic Call-In Show. Sometimes I'll be like, I think that I'm going hard on someone, and then the actual host will tell someone to shut the fuck up and then hang up on them, and I'm like, oh, okay, I wasn't being too mean. I always think that I'm going much harder on people than I actually am. Because I want to have the conversation, but I'm also like, you're dumb. Like... And my first urge is to educate people. Yeah, Arden, she goes nuclear. Yeah, I love Arden, and I appreciate that it's part of her appeal to the audience. The audience loves when she goes hard on people. So yeah, maybe I should get more spicy. But my impulse is always to educate people. When someone's like, COVID's not a big deal anymore, I'm like, why do you think that? Because I have a literal mountain of evidence that helps me make informed decisions about the world. Like, there's information that you can then use to inform yourself and then make good choices, like, that are based on the evidence, right? So part of the reason why I don't... I mean, there was somebody last week who I was just like, shut the fuck up, and get out of my chat about COVID. That was Wednesday. But usually my first impulse is to go like, well, I have a lot of data to back up my position, and we could look it up very easily. Like, you could very easily look it up. But you won't. And also, if I provide data literally telling me that, like, following the data is just, oh, you're going to be depressed if you're a statistician. Like, honey, maybe sometimes you're supposed to be, like, upset. If the fact is that there's a biosafety level 3 pathogen that causes AIDS that's airborne going around, then, like, you should be afraid. Fear is a natural response to something that's going to threaten your life, you know? Like, you should be concerned. You should be upset. If someone gets you sick on purpose or gets you sick from negligence, like, being mad at them makes sense. Most of these people already know the facts, they just don't like them. I think that's probably fair. I mean, they're being presented with the facts and then pretending like those facts mean that I'm brainwashed. You know, like, I don't... It's like they hear the facts and they just shut down mentally and refuse to accept it. Because they enjoy their, I guess, not right-wing environment over on Rumble. I will say it is a little bit frustrating that y'all in YouTube chat are, like, jumping on this person because they keep responding to you and not me. That is one of the things that is a little bit, you know, it's like, I get it, you're having fun, but it does mean that Joanne keeps getting distracted. She's not really listening to me. Oh, she's true scum too. She's bitching about, she's doing the, I identify as an attack helicopter thing. Oh yeah, I remember Dilbert. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Igor. Come on, everyone, let's make it to $200 and get another flex. Honestly, I do deserve more money for dealing with this. Joking. I'll pull out the bow, though, and try to flex on it. She's not playing with a full deck, so it's easy to distract her. Fair enough, Jenny. Fair enough, babe. Is she Ben Shapiro? She's Femme Shapiro. Got a little bit too excited about that drink of coffee. Ah, yes, the two genders. Exactly, DZXN. What's up? Why don't you just ignore them then, Joanne? Why don't you just talk to me? Do I strike you as dumb? Or do I strike you as someone who's interested in having an actual conversation about the facts? Hmm? You don't have to engage with them. It's such a good mug, isn't it? It's got the gnome on it, and then love, 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 love on the inside. Now I'm done with my coffee. Done with my coffee. I drink some water. Abby Shapiro or Brett Cooper. True. Delicioso. I'll donate again if, when the donation lands, you agree to say, oh yay, I love maths. Okay. I mean, I guess I did just say it. No, I don't have a call-in number. I'm cool with you just continuing to post in the chat. Because you're the kind of person who, like, you're gonna try to talk a lot, and I'm gonna have to interrupt you, and, like, that's not really the vibe, babe. That's not really the vibe that we're going for. Yes, it is a cute mug. My mother-in-law is such a sweetheart. She bought me this mug. She actually bought me 2 of this mug. Are you gonna keep insulting my chatters, or are you gonna respond to any of the points that I've made? Like, do you have any response to the fact that at least 4 million working adults can't work full-time anymore because of a COVID infection? Or the fact that there is someone in this chat right now who is already disabled from a previous viral infection, and then when they got COVID, it made their health way worse? Or, you know, like, do you have any response to the fact that COVID causes permanent heart damage? Thank you, Jenny McNeil, for your $5 super chat. Joanne is a silly Billy. I think that that's fair. She's a very silly person. But yes, I appreciate that. Bringing us up to $123.41. Okay, yeah, actually, let me change this. Oh, somebody else just donated. I heard the noise. Himjack, $22.36 says, hey, what do you think of math? Oh, yay, I love maths. It's my favorite. Thank you. Same happened to me as well. I had COPD before COVID, and COVID made it worse. What is COPD? I've heard of this before, but I always forget what it stands for. It's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So it's an inflammatory lung disease that causes obstructed airflow from the lungs. Symptoms include breathing difficulty, cough, an excess of mucus production, and wheezing. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that my... I have probably had COVID. I've not tested and not tested positive, but I have gotten sick in the way that COVID makes you sick at the time that certain variants are going around. So I've probably had COVID like 3 times. And I'm not entirely sure that my POTS wasn't made worse by one of those. But, you know, it's an illness that I have had my entire life as far as I know. But I do feel like it may have gotten worse over the last couple of years, but it's hard for me to tell because I also didn't really used to pay attention to my body. Yeah. So, a Sillington Billington, as they say in Scotland. Yeah. Thank you, Kitty Tick, for doing the math for me. 145.77. Oh, gosh. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, COVID-19 is known to exacerbate COPD. Yeah. I could never run before because of the stress on my knees, but now I can't run because I can't breathe after a few seconds. Yeah. I feel like you're still not responding to any of the points that I'm making. See, I know that this would not be a productive conversation. I have a Discord server. If you really wanted to join the Discord server, you could potentially call in, but I'm not going to let you because I have made numerous points and you have not addressed any of them. You keep getting distracted by other people in the chat. You're saying COVID stopped me temporarily, but like that does not address the point that I'm making. Your anecdote about how COVID wasn't a big deal for you is not reflective of the data, you know? Like the widespread, we know over, you know, repeated instances that COVID causes permanent damage. And, you know, you say like, you say that COVID stopped you temporarily. Well, have you had any testing for seeing if you have microclotting in your blood, or to see testing your lung function, or and that wouldn't necessarily matter anyway, because yeah, the thing is that like even with polio, which, you know, we vaccinate against polio because even if only a small percentage of people who catch it end up dead or permanently disabled, we know that as a society, if 1% of people who catch this disease end up with a permanent disability, that's like hundreds of thousands of people. And that's bad for the economy and it's bad for our society. So we vaccinate against polio and we try to prevent passing it because of that. So, you know, 99% of people, I don't actually remember what the numbers are for polio, but let's just say that 99% of people who catch polio only have some diarrhea and then they get better, you know? Okay, maybe you're part of the 99%, right? But you can also really only catch polio once. So if you catch the disease that gives you, it has a 1% chance of permanently disabling you, then if you keep catching it, eventually you're going to end up permanently disabled, you know? You say that I'm afraid to actually talk, but you are not engaging with the discussion. So you don't have very much longer in the chat of, you know, avoiding the points that I'm making and refusing to bring any actual facts or data to the conversation. Like, do you have anything productive to add? And again, you're still, like, addressing other chatters. So, again, other chatters, love you. You're distracting Joanne, okay? She only has one brain cell. She finds it very difficult to stay on track. You can tell when someone's right-wing when they don't care about something that isn't a direct detriment to them. True. All you've been talking about COVID this, COVID that. Well, you are the one who said COVID's not a big deal and started us off on this entire conversation. I was talking about a lot of stuff before you came in and said something fucking retarded. Sorry. Like, I'm assuming that Joanne is she, her pronouns. She said she's a trans woman. So I'm just assuming that. Yeah, okay, so I actually have a question for you, Joanne. I'm really curious. What kind of videos do you upload on Rumble? What kind of stuff do you like to talk about on your channel? Lux, you don't get it. You're just dividing everyone. She's going to unite us all by infecting everyone with whatever she's stewing up in her lungs. Yeah. I give no fucks about it if it isn't current events. So again, you're just asserting that it's not a current event. There are like 1,000 Americans who die per week from COVID that we know of. That doesn't even count people who had a sudden heart attack or stroke in the 12 months after their infection. So, you know, you're just saying it's not current events. Joanne says she likes to make all kinds of content, including stuff for shock value and cigar reviews. I'm sorry, Mersh, that this person is also into cigars like you are. Even though I was vaccinated, I had a very mild case of polio. It shows up in the structure of my feet as an adult. Doctors can tell immediately that I had polio as a child by looking at my feet. I do not remember getting sick, but it did leave permanent lifetime developmental marks on me. Yeah. So, yeah, being vaccinated again, it doesn't prevent you from catching the disease, but it seems like in your case, you might have had a much more severe permanent disability or death since polio um, changed your bone structure in such a way that doctors can easily recognize. So honestly, Joanne, it just kind of seems to me like you've decided that you want COVID to be over and you trust the CDC, which the CDC is a political organization that also said that HIV wasn't a big deal. And then we find out about like 10 years later that it causes AIDS. Um, Again, COVID is airborne and it can damage your immune system in a way that gives you AIDS. And like, you're trusting the CDC, or like, I don't actually know where you're getting your information from. It seems like you disdain the idea of actual data though. So I'm not really sure, like, again, what would be the point of giving you a platform? You know? Do you have anything to back up your beliefs? I would like to see. If there is convincing data that COVID is not a big deal, maybe I might like to go to the gym without wearing a mask because it's hot. It's hot when I work out wearing a mask. This has been a delightful break from the abject horror that is the actual stream topics. Yeah. You say, ooh, back to CDC shit, back to COVID. You have not responded to any of my questions or any of my data. You just said COVID is not a big deal. And I'm waiting for you to address those points. Oh, you're done discussing COVID. Okay, well, you can leave then, because I'm going to stay on this topic until you address the points, or you leave. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. Putting baby down for nap. Have fun. Yeah, enjoy putting baby down for nap. We'll see you back in a bit. No one appears to be doing terrible around me. No COVID, no nothing. That's not data. Do you have any data to support your position? I'm not changing the subject. You can just leave if you don't want to keep talking about this. Either produce data to back up your position or go away. And if you try to change the subject, I will block you. Yeah, this is a COVID stream for the next hour. We're just going to keep talking about it. Yeah, she's like commanding me to change the subject because, oh, I'm bored of you talking about COVID. Like, well, you made a claim and I made a claim and I backed up my assertion and you just won't. So it seems like one of us is actually good at conversation and debate and like actually providing any backup for their views. So, you're welcome to leave. I don't want you here, to be clear. Like, you can just go. Yeah, COVID's over just like climate change. Now let's talk about something important like woke vegetables. Fucking true. She's not gone yet. No, she's still malding at you in the chat. Not you specifically, Jackie, but she's malding at you all. Because she is incapable of supporting her position. That's the thing. You're just incapable of supporting your position. And there's still 76 people here. I'm glad that you all are entertained by this. Okay, congrats. You had COVID. That's not data. Do you have any data to back up your assertion that COVID is not a big deal? It's easy. It's such an easy question. Just say yes or no. If you want to say, no, I don't have any data, I'm just going off of my own personal experience, then okay. Just say, no, I don't have any data. And then I'll say, okay, then your opinion does not have a seat at this table. Pretty easy. This is my problem, is I want to force people to admit that they're fucking stupid or that they're speaking from a place of ignorance, and I will let this go on for much longer than it should. That's my problem. My problem is that I want to force people to admit that they're just speaking from their feelings. It's all my personal experience. Okay, so you don't have any data to support your position. Just say, I don't have any data to support your position. Like, just say that you're arguing from your feelings and you don't care about the facts. Forced to admit I'm stupid is my kink. Honestly, that's the one thing about embarrassing someone in chat, is like, it could very well be a kink thing for her. Like the humiliation and degradation fetish. But, you know, I already got paid for today, so it's whatever. I believe you that your COVID infection wasn't a big deal. I believe you. Personal experiences matter most. Okay. Joanne, thank you so much for entertaining me for the last half an hour, however long it's been. You're a fucking dumbass, and I am never gonna have to listen to your stupid shit again. So, goodbye forever. Enjoy being on Rumble. Enjoy prioritizing your facts, or sorry, prioritizing your feelings over the facts, and go away forever, and bye-bye. Okay. We've blocked her now, and we're gonna move on. I extracted as much amusement from that as I was capable of doing. You can keep malding in the chat, but your comments won't show up anymore, so have fun. If I were a trans woman named Joanna, I might have to change my name. True. Thanks for hanging out during all of that nonsense. She just kept saying, oh, but it's my personal experience. Like, okay, that is you saying you don't have any data. Okay. How many times am I going to let you say that before I'm just like, all right, well, You refuse to acknowledge that you're just speaking from a place of personal experience that does not align with the facts, but all right. What is the most woke vegetable, and is it IBD friendly? Good question. Yeah, if in reality that was J.K. Rowling, I think J.K. Rowling is honestly less stupid than that person was. Like, Joanne is hateful. Like, Joanne Rowling, she's hateful, but she's not, like, stupid. You know, there's a difference. Jackie Sins point out that no medical association has committed to saying that the COVID pandemic is over. There are still cases and new variants emerging. Of course. It's still a rapidly mutating virus. Yeah, car crashes aren't a big deal. I was in a crash at 5 miles per hour and it was fine, so what's the big deal? Honestly, it is kind of crazy to me, though, that that our society is still so car-oriented. Like, I know somebody who was in a pretty major car accident recently and is, like, going to be in the hospital for a while, and it's, like, heartbreaking that this is just considered normal and acceptable. And it is, I think, pretty comparable to the COVID thing, because, yeah, like, we are out here doing things that are dangerous. We're out here doing things that we know statistically can kill you, permanently injure you. Like, most of the time when you're driving, it's safe. Like, I mean, in the sense that most of the time when you drive, you don't get into a car accident, right? Like 99.99999% of the times that I've gone driving, I have not gotten into an accident, you know? I slid on some ice and bumped into somebody once, and it was not a big deal. So it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I got into a slight car accident, and it wasn't a big deal. Therefore, car accidents are not a big deal? Like, no. The car stuff in Europe is pretty bleak right now. All the right-wing parties are campaigning on car rights now. Yeah, and especially when it's just an excuse to defund your very robust public transit options there. Just because you personally have done something a bunch and not gotten hurt doesn't mean that car accidents aren't one of the major causes of death in the US. Like, yeah. Okay, I don't need this tab open anymore. Let's take care not to reinforce the stigma against people with narcissistic personality disorder. I generally think that we as a community should avoid accusations of narcissism toward people. Like, narcissism is not too much different from borderline, and so, like, if I have a cluster B disorder, I don't want to increase stigma against other cluster B disorders. That's just my prerogative. I think I was just reading someone in chat said woke vegetables. That was not something that I said. It was just something I was quoting. Cars are a way of making sure you're reliant on capital in the sense that you're paying for the car, insurance, gas, tires, etc. Yeah, fair enough. Mersh also says, I've seen people who had a mild case of COVID the first time and the second time they were hospitalized. Yeah. Harms you very majorly. The Mayor of London has gone in for some very anti-car policies and was recently re-elected by his biggest ever margin. Nice. Ooh, Brussels sprouts are yummy. Brussels sprouts are yummy, and they have a lot of protein in. Those brassicas have a lot of protein in. Like, broccoli, also heavy in the protein. Oh, damn girl is the one who said woke vegetables, because they're making children eat vegetables in schools now. The woke vegetable agenda. I see what you mean now. The female aubergine is the most woke vegetable. Oh, that's fun. I have BPD2 and I'm in week 45 of DBT. That's awesome. I'm so proud. Listen, if you go hardcore on the DBT treatment, it takes about 2 years to start to see some really significant results as far as emotion regulation and like that stuff really kick in. So proud of you. I also think that anyone could do dialectical behavioral therapy and benefit from it because all aspects of it are evidence-based. And so like maybe you don't need to do the full program, but every part of it has something that someone could use out there. And that's my opinion. Has anyone seen my awful picture in Discord? Listen, don't talk about yourself that way. Number one. Number two, I haven't seen it, I don't think. Everyone used to make kids eat vegetables. Parents from the 1950s insisted. Nobody needed to trick me into doing vegetables. They would just give me, like, green peppers. Oh my god, I love green bell peppers. They're so yummy. I have a pepper plant, and I hope it's like the most healthy of all my plants in the garden this year. So I'm excited to see if she produces some big Berthas for me. I was misdiagnosed with bipolar for a decade, so I am now grateful to know that I have autism and BPD. Yeah, it's so difficult. I was being treated for like depression for like 7 years because my doctor just didn't seem interested in looking further into it. She was just like throwing a million different drugs at me for like 7 years. And then I lapsed out of treatment, and then I started going to a trans support group, and the therapist there, I ended up seeing her for, like, I think she suspected, based on the group stuff, that I had borderline, because her primary job was to treat borderline. So, yeah. It's crazy, you know, you can spend, like, a million fucking years just being treated for something that you don't actually have because the person who's throwing meds at you, like, at some point, after like 5 years of trying a bunch of different drugs that don't fucking help, I think that as a person who prescribes drugs, you should be like, you need to go to therapy now. Like, it's clear that after 5 years of being on like a million different antidepressants, this is not working, so why don't you maybe go to therapy? And then you find out, oh, you have PTSD and borderline personality disorder, and you didn't actually have depression. You can have depressive symptoms, like chronic feelings of emptiness is one of the symptoms of borderline. And yeah, you can display symptoms that look like depression, but it actually is a bigger problem that only therapy can solve. As one with a BPD diagnosis itself, this one appreciates the dedication to not letting others catch strays from accusations of things like narcissism. Yeah, I just think we need to rein that in. I actually do have both BPD and clinical depression. It's rough. Ooh, I'm sorry. By the way, let's discuss cars. I'm not actually a car expert person. I have a car. I drive it regularly. But I know very little about them. Yeah, America's too reliant. I can agree. America's too reliant on cars and we need to find some alternatives. I can agree with that. I would like pics of your bell pepper harvest. I'll let you know. So what I do is I've been posting garden pics on Patreon. Sometimes they're for the free membership, and sometimes they are for the $1 tier. So if you contribute $1 on Patreon, you'll see like all of the pictures that I've been posting recently of my new tattoo, of some roses that I bought. Yeah. You can see all kinds of neat stuff over there. My parents would blackmail me with dessert. They said that if I didn't eat my vegetables, I could forget about dessert, and they followed through with that threat. Yeah. I have aphantasia and can confirm that CBT and DBT, you can take something helpful out of them regardless of your specific diagnosis. Thank you for contributing that. Thank you. Yeah. So I will post garden pictures throughout the season on the Patreon. I am curious about DBT, has a lot better reviews than CBT for autism. Yeah. I don't know specifically about the treatment of autism. I mean, I am autistic, and I personally find that the structure of DBT helps me a lot. However, I do think as an autistic person, I do tend to, I'm trying to manage my emotions, and that can kind of overcorrect too hard the other way for me. So I actually have a tab open on my computer for radically open dialectical behavioral therapy that can kind of help with that overcorrection where, you know, you still need to be with your feelings and you still need to seek connection and things. You can't just manage all the time, because then that can kind of prevent you from having the kind of connections that you need. But personally, I think that the structure of DBT helps me a lot, and it might be because I'm autistic that works. Now, historically, I have fucking hated CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. There are probably some things from it that I could find use out of now, but for me, anything that I do in therapy, like, and anything that I do in life practically, it comes through the lens of DBT, because I'm like, okay, well, it has been demonstrated to me thoroughly that this evidence-based practice is highly effective. So when I'm talking to my therapist now, and I am not seeing a DBT therapist right now, but I'm still talking about things like, you know, this kind of skill, that kind of skill for DBT, because that's just what worked for me. I'm always kind of wary of, quote, treatments for autism. A lot of the times it's trying to eradicate the autism than helping the person cope with autism. I think that what this person was saying was more like, I'm curious about DBT because autistic people who are in therapy for other reasons, they're not trying to treat their autism. Correct me if I'm wrong, damn girl. But I think what you're saying is autistic people who are trying to treat their regular issues may find that CBT does not work for them, but rather DBT works for them. Is that right? But like, I don't like the cognitive behavioral therapy has a tendency to go, your thoughts are wrong. And like, DBT kind of prompts you toward that, but it doesn't do it like that. It's more like, let's describe the situation using objective language and making sure that our interpretation fits the facts. And then if you check the facts and you find that your interpretation doesn't fit the facts, then, you know, we can do some cognitive work and hold the dialectic and move forward from that point. Okay, yeah. Damn girl says there are no treatments for autism. We are how we are. We're not looking to be treated. We need help coping in this world. Yes. So I'm honestly kind of wondering if going into like peer support with DBT might be something that I should do. Because, yeah, dialectical behavioral therapy does have a pretty heavy peer support component. And like, I graduated a DBT program. And I'm like, again, I think that I'm like the closest thing to an expert that any lay person who's not an actual therapist could be at BPD. Not to say that I'm done with my therapeutic journey or whatever. I'm still in therapy. Okay, why don't we do this last segment, huh? We have one more seggy seg. I need to rest my voice a little bit, though. Drink some water. If you haven't yet hit the like button, please hit the like button. Consider dropping me a $5 dono. No worries if you don't. And we're gonna talk about an Aaron Reed article. Aaron in the morning. The First Amendment violations are off the charts right now. You would think, oh, you know, of all the things about trans people, typically we're usually discussing things like 14th Amendment violations, equal protection under the law. You can't deny trans kids the same medicine that you allow cis kids to take, etc., right? We are seeing in some places this increased, like, you can't even express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. And so this seems like the kind of thing that's going to be a very, very clear cut and dry First Amendment, boom, easy, right? Title IX discrimination, easy. But that remains to be seen. So in this instance, I want to discuss a story coming out of Mississippi. And Aaron Reed covered this, so we're going to riff off of her coverage on this. Civil rights complaint filed over Mississippi Public Schools, quote, biological sex dress code. The school has been forbidding trans and gender nonconforming students from wearing clothes that do not match their biological sex at graduation, and in other situations, apparently. So I just want to be clear. When we say gender nonconforming, that's like a tomboy, you know? And like that's one of the instances, one of the examples that we're going to be talking about here. The ACLU filed a Title IX complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights over the consistent, deliberate, and cruel mistreatment of trans and gender nonconforming students at the Harrison County School District. Allegations include forcing these students to abide by a, quote, biological sex dress code, enduring repeated and severe harassment and bullying, and removing trans and gender nonconforming students from school-related functions in clear violation of Title IX. Previously, the school made national news for forcing a trans girl as well as a cisgender, gender nonconforming girl to miss graduation for wearing a dress and pants, respectively. So, again, when we say cisgender, gender nonconforming girl, they kicked her out of, they would not allow her to walk during graduation because she was wearing pants. So this movement, this far-right movement in this country, they genuinely are heading this direction of women need to wear dresses and stay in the kitchen. If you ever thought that that wasn't the case, like a tomboy, a girl who wants to wear pants, dress pants, I'm assuming she's not trying to wear jeans, because I get it, they're trying to enforce formality at graduation, but like a tomboy, all these people like J.K. Rowling and all these TERFs keep saying, oh, you're trying to trans the youth. You know, if I had grown up in this day and age, they would have tried to trans me because I was a tomboy. But the people that they're aligned with also don't think that tomboys should be tomboys. They think young women need to wear dresses and high heels and, I mean, honestly, like, it would surprise me if they weren't also upset that she was graduating high school because being educated is, like, also a bad thing for women, right? This has always been the goal of religious people who are invested in this, you know, conservatives. I wish people realized it's bigger than just trans people. They do want to enforce their gender ideology on everyone, right? They're trying to enforce a strict binary where you should be able to look at a person and guess what their genitals are, you know? And, like, of course, I don't want to hammer in too hard this tomboy point because, you know, ultimately what we want to address is the fact that this is discrimination against trans people, but it is obviously Title IX discrimination no matter what. Like, a trans girl should be allowed to wear a dress, and cisgender girls should be allowed to wear formal pants at a formal event. Like, that, why is that a big deal? It shouldn't be a big deal. So there's a new complaint brought by AH, who is an anonymous transgender 16-year-old girl. She attends Harrison Central High School. She was told by her band teacher that she was permitted to wear a black dress to a regional band concert evaluation. Regional band evaluation. She received compliments from her fellow bandmates. However, the principal, Kelly Fuller, saw her in the hallway while she was going to the restroom and said, "You know you can't wear that, right? Boys can't wear skirts or dresses." And then added, "You can't represent our school dressed like that." She then forced her mother to, quote, bring, quote, boys' clothes, or threatened to send her to in-school reassignment. So I think that in-school reassignment means in-school suspension. I think that they threatened this girl with suspension because of a dress code about you have to conform to your biological sex's dress code. Like, what? This is from the complaint. AH confirmed with the band director the dress she had chosen was appropriate and consistent with guidelines. The band director approved of the dress. During first period, this teenager went to the bathroom, was accosted by the principal. Yeah, and she was, threatened to be sent to in-school reassignment and not allowed to participate in the band concert evaluation. She also, so in-school suspension, and you can't go do your band evaluation, which, to be clear, this is the kind of thing that a kid could get a scholarship off of. Going to a regional competition, whether it's sports, whether it's music, whatever it is, that is an opportunity for further educational, opportunities that is just being, revoked. I've made this point before. They're trying to prevent trans people from having a place in society. If you refuse to let a kid use the correct bathroom while they're at school, you're saying, oh, well, sure, you can use the bathroom in the nurse's office, and then you have to go 3 flights of stairs downstairs to use the only restroom in the school that you're allowed to. Like, you're basically cutting that child off from education. And when you try to revoke Riley Gaines tried to go after a trans teenager who was playing volleyball and saying, oh, she should have her scholarship revoked, her scholarship to college revoked. Like, you're trying to deny trans people an education. And that's what this is. You're trying to deny trans people an education and the ability to participate in society and staying with their communities. So the teenager called her mother, who was upset to hear what happened, but she was on it. The mom was on it and brought an outfit for the girl to change into because she had worked hard to qualify for this regional. The girl changed into the, quote, boys' clothes that her mother brought, which was a button-down shirt and dress pants. Returning to the classroom where her dress had been celebrated by her peers, the teenager felt humiliated to be seen in clothing that was inconsistent with her gender identity. But she wanted to be able to participate. The incident that appears to have triggered the complaint was not the only time this teen had suffered harassment and abuse over her gender identity in the school district. Previously, when she entered the girls' bathroom in 8th grade, she was screamed at by a teacher to the point of tears. She was then forced to use the teacher's restroom. Later in 9th grade, a hall monitor confronted her on her way to the bathroom, demeaned her, and asked, "What are you?" So the Title IX updates recently. So Biden's administration is now saying trans people are protected under sex discrimination under Title IX, meaning if a child is being bullied, like let's just say for their religion, if a child is being bullied for their religion and if the teachers are participating in it, or if the teachers are not adequately, and the administration, if the teachers and the administration are not adequately addressing that, the student can seek damages and say, and basically sue the school and say, you are not fulfilling your duty to protect me under Title IX civil rights. I deserve an education, and I deserve an education free of discrimination. So this is a situation where, we now have a complaint built on years of Title IX, a failure to enforce Title IX anti-discrimination laws. The teen alleges severe bullying and harassment from other students with no resolution from the school. She received a suspension after being targeted by bullying in the classroom. One student called her a slur, 2 slurs, in the presence of a teacher while class was in session, and no action was taken until this trans girl stood up for herself and told the student to stop harassing her loudly in the classroom. And the teacher wrote up and suspended this trans girl for telling someone else to, like, stop bullying her. After facing yet another class period of harassment, she stood up for herself. The teacher removed her from class, attempted to send her to this... Oh, okay. Removed her and the bully from the class and attempted to send them to the school counselor. But the vice principal of the school called him into his office. She brought her friends with her to the principal's office as witnesses, where they attempted to explain the pattern of bullying by the other student. However, the vice principal sent away her witnesses, saying they were, quote, biased and attempting to defend her. He also told her that she would be written up for her actions. Apparently, he then, Jaworski Rankin, I don't know the gender of this vice principal. Anyway, the vice principal called in the other student to the office. The student harassed and used slurs against both the trans girl and the vice principal. And the student threatened the trans girl in front of the vice principal. The next day, this trans girl was suspended for 2 days for, quote, disrupting the learning environment. Until that point, she had had a perfect disciplinary record. Like, getting an in-school suspension, or actually, I don't know if it was in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension, but getting a suspension for telling your bully to leave you alone. Like, this teacher was allowing bullying to happen and then decided, oh, I'm going to punish both of you. Oh, you're both causing a problem. Like, okay. Very normal behavior. This story is not unique in the district. They've recently made national news after excluding, a trans girl and a cis girl from their graduation. The tomboy girl, who she wore black pants to her graduation in accordance with her usual gender expression, barred from attending graduation. She was told she could remove her pants under her graduation gown. But if her pants were on under her gown, she would not be allowed to walk. So the pants that you can't even see under her graduation gown. The following summer, the school released a, quote, biological sex dress code that mandates students, quote, follow the dress attire consistent with their biological sex. Boys required to wear shorts, pants, and shirts and footwear, and are banned from wearing items commonly associated with girls, such as skirts, dresses, and blouses. Please tell me the specific difference between a shirt and a blouse. I'm waiting. Girls must wear dresses or skirts or shorts or pants, and shirts or blouses and footwear. Shorts and pants. You're saying pants are permissible, but you denied that girl the opportunity to graduate? Okay. The policy appears to clearly violate Title IX, stating that students cannot be subjected to different rules of behavior, sanctions, or treatment based on their sex. Numerous courts have ruled that sex-based dress codes violate Title IX, including the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, which stated, quote, based on the plain language and structure of the statute, we conclude that Title IX unambiguously encompasses sex-based dress codes. So the ACLU is going to be seeking remedies, including an order stopping the the gender-specific dress code policies. We want to have gender-neutral dress code policies. They demand that the school stops targeting, surveilling, and disciplining students based on sex. The school should adopt policies and procedures for promptly and equitably responding to reports of discrimination. Schools should be made to provide mandatory training for district employees about non-discrimination and compliance with federal anti-discrimination laws. The school should issue a written apology to this trans girl for their ongoing discriminatory conduct. So, yeah, Aaron points out we're going to see how the Biden administration handles this, because we've just recently updated the Title IX stuff, and, we're going to see how much of a burden the schools have to enforce Title IX rules, Ow. In my school, at graduation, everyone wears a white robe, so you could see what was underneath. Ooh, most of the time I think they're black. But like that, yeah, to say you can't wear pants underneath, like this isn't even a trans-related problem. Although, this is part of why I personally believe that Title IX discrimination, like, you know, when we're talking about anti-trans discrimination, gender nonconforming people who identify with their sex assigned at birth are kind of under the broader umbrella of trans people, like trans identity, because they're gonna get caught up in this stuff just as well. They're discriminated against for the same reasons. I'm not saying that they are trans and that they identify as trans, but I'm saying that they are subject to the same types of discrimination. Because, yeah, like, why do you care what people are wearing? Why do you care that this teenager is wearing a dress to a competition? And to say, ooh, boys are not allowed to wear dresses. Like, what? That's just overt discrimination. That's the principal of the school calling a trans girl a boy to her face. Blatant Title IX discrimination. Blatant. There's just no question. It's totally clear. I don't know why people care. Just trying to exert control over people who are just like, I'm just trucking along, living my life. If it's not revealing, what is the problem, right? Like, if it's not revealing, then what is the issue? As long as people's feet are covered appropriately, as long as people don't have, like, their genitals hanging out or their ass hanging out or whatever, like, it seems like it shouldn't be this difficult. But we live in a time in our country where there's this extreme conservative backlash to basic things like self-expression. And, like, yeah, it seems like to me it's like Title IX discrimination, and it's a violation of First Amendment rights to self-expression. All right, let's go ahead and put this in the notes. I feel like I've done enough complaining about this for now, and we've got someone in the YouTube chat saying some interesting stuff, so let's see what they're saying over there in the YouTube chat. Title IX dress code. There we go. We've got some segments. Okay, what's the point that you're making, Marl? What is the point that you're making? As someone who grew up in a UK Catholic school, we all had to have a very strict uniform. We all hated it, and my nan called it on the head, nailed it on the head. They don't want students, they want clones. Schools, okay, this is anarchy take coming in. I think education is a good thing, right? I think the way that schools work now is like, it's more trying to make you into a good worker. Yeah, but I don't want to read through all your messages. I'm not going to scroll up in the chat. I'm giving you an opportunity to steelman your argument. But yeah, schools at this point, I mean, in America at least, the purpose of schools is to create, like, workers that are pliant. You know, workers and like people who are willing to accept authority without question. If you don't accept authority without question, then yeah, the segment's basically over. I'm curious what this person is saying in chat, though. I like, where you're talking about, like, racism or like transphobia from black people specifically. Like, are you just Joanne? Are you back, Marl? Are you just Joanne? Did you subscribe to me on a second account? I mean, thank you. The subscriber count has been going up lately, so that's nice. The way that you're typing kind of makes it seem like you are Joanne from earlier. Is it you, Joanne? Black people are more transphobic. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're being racist. Cool. I don't think you have any data. I think you just like to say shit that's inflammatory. Yeah, Marl, what do you think about COVID? Joanne, 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 Joanne. Joanne. Yeah. This is not going to last as long as it did last time, by the way. I'm not going to let this last for very long. I'm just curious what the fuck the point is that she's trying to make this time. She couldn't help herself. I think she has a humiliation fetish. That's what this is. It's a humiliation fetish. Joanne, you owe me like $300 for the humiliation session that we did earlier. Are you saying that to me, Joanne? That I live in a white area, probably? Why are you asserting things about me? You don't know me. You don't know where I grew up. You owe me. I got traction to your channel. Hunty. Okay. So in the next... Hold on. Where's my phone? In the next 30 seconds, you owe me $300 for the humiliation session earlier. And if you don't pay me, then I'm going to block you. Okay? Ready? I'm going to pull up a timer. Or I'm going to pull up my stopwatch. Here. You have 1 minute to pay me $300. Okay? I'm waiting. So, 15 seconds. You have 40 seconds left. You owe me $300. Okay? You ready? You're not getting humiliated for free a second time, okay? You owe me $300. It's a fetish, and I get it. I get it. It's a fetish. That's fine. You have about 10 seconds left. Okay? Are you ready? 1 minute is plenty of time for you to do a super chat. Okay? That's 1 minute. All right? I didn't see a super chat come in, so goodbye. Thank you. Cool. I'll only do it for free once, okay? I'm only going to do it for free once. You don't get a second time. I walked away for a bit. What the heck did I miss? What's up, Decoy Duck? So we just did a segment about, like, transphobia in Mississippi, and then the person who was in here earlier hopped on an alt account and decided to start saying that black people are the most transphobic of any group. And yeah, I was like, oh, you want to be humiliated again, but now you owe me money. How long until she comes back a third time? Well, we don't have much longer on the show. We're probably going to wind it down here before too terribly long. Yeah, that's an expensive kink session because I don't want to do it. You know, you got to pay more for the stuff that I don't want to do. Let's see if she comes back again. I wonder if she was sat there, like, typing in the chat thinking that we could see her comments for a while, though. That's pretty funny. Because I think when you block someone from the channel, it doesn't prevent them from making comments. It just makes it to where they no longer show up publicly on the channel. So people can still leave comments. And they're like, why aren't my comments showing up on the video? Like, well, because you're blocked. That's why. 141 likes. Thank you. Yeah, them thinking that they brought in any viewers. Oh, I brought you traction on your show. Oh, well, you mean the show that had, like, more viewers when, like, we had more viewers before we went on that COVID tangent. We lost viewers over the course of me arguing with that dumbass. Like, wow. She graced my channel with her clout. Andy wants to know if we can get 9 more likes. Can we get to 150? I have not read the Health Nerd blog by Gideon MK. Apparently he's been breaking down the cast review, and it's generally a pretty good analysis. No, I haven't. Yeah, you hide people now instead of outright banning them, essentially. I suppose it's to stop people who are banned from doing, quote, alternative methods of engagement. Yeah, if they're leaving comments on the YouTube video, they might not realize initially that they're banned, and then, you know, start using alternate accounts to post on the content. It took Joanne a while to realize that her comments were not showing up, because I think that she's been here the whole time. I think she was hanging out the whole time. Oh, she hopped on an alternate account earlier. Yeah, she's been here under Marl for a while. Okay, yeah, she jumped in a while ago. Oh my god, stop. I just wasn't paying attention to the chat. Trolls in the dungeon. Heathen Granny would like a hug right now. Does anybody have a hug for Heathen Granny? I know, I had a rough day this week and I was like, I just need some good vibes from someone. I just need someone to say something nice to me. So I understand those feelings, Heathen Granny. Just like, man, I just need like some comfort. Is she gonna keep making new accounts? Again, thank you for subscribing to me on a second account. Wow, that's so nice of you. I'm at 34,000 subscribers now. I'm hoping to get to 40,000 by the end of the year. That's a pretty lofty goal, because it's going to take a while to get there. It's a hug party in the YouTube chat right now. Well, that was a fun show. It was a good time. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else on Twitter. There's just a lot of awful shit that I don't want to cover on Twitter right now, TBH. Crowd diving into the hug party, yes. What is that, Rebecca? When you get to 40K, you should make a girl custodes? Was that a typo? What is that? $5,000 Joanne subs? Dear God, no. I mean, listen, if I block you and you stay subscribed, okay, cool. Keep watching the videos and commenting into the void. That's fine for me. Oh, Warhammer 40k joke. I see. Yeah, I'm never gonna be into Warhammer 40k. I don't have enough money for that. Well, we had a good time today, I feel. We're ending the stream with like twice as many likes as viewers, which sounds like a good number. I wonder if hidden comments still count as engagement. I don't think so. I don't think they actually count as comments on the video, but I'm not sure. Maybe they do. Hey, wouldn't that be something? Like they count toward the video, but like they don't actually show up. That would be nice. All right. Well, my voice is sore, so I am going to hop off of here and do my evening thing, get some content prepped for the rest of the week. And I will be planning to see you all on Wednesday. Wednesday. It is the day where we stream in the middle of the week. Sundays and Wednesdays, y'all. So, I bid you good night. I bid you adieu. I bid you good luck. I hope that you have a good start to your week. And I will see you when I see you. All right.